And welcome back everybody to another CranKy Duckling tournament broadcast. I'm your host Live VIP, and welcome everyone to the SuperExtra Latam Latino America 2v2 tournament number 1. And I do apologize. Feels bad, man. This tournament started 2 hours ago and there was some miscommunication. Originally this was planned to be yesterday. They moved it over to today. It was going to be at 1 p.m. Peruvian time. They moved it to 7 p.m. Peruvian time, and I didn't quite notice that. So I stayed up until 4 a.m. this morning. I stayed up until 4 a.m. I was like, let's go. I'm ready for the broadcast. I'm ready for the tournament. And then it's like, oh, it's not now. It's in 3 hours. And I made the mistake of going to bed and closing my eyes, and I passed out. I say 3 hours. It was in 6 hours actually. It was 6 hours. It was in 6 hours, and I fell asleep for 7.5 hours. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So I did miss out on the majority. I feel like Enki right now. I feel like El Hermoso. He needs his beauty sleep. I'm still like kind of groggy as well. Oh god. But yes, we are here and we are in the semi-finals. So we missed out on a couple of rounds on the tournaments. We already have the finalists ready and waiting in said finals. But here we are. We know these players. In the top left-hand corner of Emerald City LE, we have the CranKy Ducklings team. We have the Peruvian player Ryu as well as the Brazilian player Eric. Together they are the CranKy Ducklings. I didn't think the intro would work, but yeah. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Emerald City LE, we have the Peruvian Teal Terran. We have, of course, Tavo combining himself with the Mexican Protoss Paco Mike, and together they are Team Super. I need to hide the intro. Hold on. Overlays in game intro. There we go. So that'll be a little bit better. So casting tool and a couple of things don't really work for 2v2, so yeah, we'll see how things go here. Again, 2v2 is a completely different beast. What are our players planning actually? We do see that Ryu on the other side of the map, he's going for a very fast lair here, taking all of his gases. This almost looks as if he wants to go straight into a spire. That's kind of what it looks like. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Eric is playing pretty standard. So Eric, it looks like he is playing standard to cover for his boy. He's taking a fast third base. Meanwhile, Ryu is taking up. So being a little bit greedy, but so far there hasn't been a lot of pressure. Looks like from the side of Tavo, we see a standard 1-1-1. I say standard 1-1-1, my apologies. He has actually switched things up a little bit here. He is going for tank production, not Hellions. So he's not going to have early on map control. That does mean that the Zerg players, they're free to drone up. They don't have to worry about any Hellions, about any early game aggression. Meanwhile, our Protoss player is taking control of the skies with a Phoenix opener. So any kind of overlords are going to get taken out. So they're going to be very, very much reduced so in vision. And now these Phoenixes, they're going to be able to go across the map and maybe deal some damage. Thankfully for our Zerg players, our CranKy Ducklings team, Ryu is going for a Spire, so he will have control of the airs soon with Corruptors. But until then, Phoenixes, again, they do reign supreme. Eric, he's fully aware that though we have queens on the way in the natural in the main base. Spores are being thrown down as well. Spores are king because again, Phoenixes can't pick up spores. No, the queen. Oh, the queens unite. Oh god, we have Eric and Ryu rock up here, and they're going to be able to shoo away a lot of these Phoenixes. That's a lot of queens, by the way. Oh my god. Again, Paco Mike on his own can't really achieve too much here. Does end up getting 2 drones in the end, but only 2 drones and 1 queen. Whereas Tavo, he's kind of chilling here at home. Meanwhile, of course, I want to welcome everyone else in the chat as well. Oh, I should probably, I just recognized this. Huh. Look, I just woke up, okay? I literally just woke up. Oh god, we do have a bit of a drop here in the main base of Eric. Oh my god, we do have plenty of queens to help defend, but the queens are a little bit busy right now with the phoenixes, so damage is being done. It was 3-4 drones end up going down. The queens will be able to shoot this away eventually, but regardless, like, hey, if the queens aren't here to defend against phoenixes, then the phoenixes they just take everything out. Oh, they do take out a couple of overlords, a couple more drones are going down as well. At least the drop is dealt with for the time being, but there are still a couple of marines here just waiting to dive back in. Oof. Again, this is the power of the Phoenix, this is the power of the Banshee as well. Banshee does rock up here at the third base, but yo, we do have Corruptors, we do have Spores, and that's the big thing. Finally, Ryu does have his Corruptors up and running. The Spire is going to pay for itself. And we're going into the air. So this is where I'm a little bit concerned for Eric. Oh god, as the Corruptors have to kind of deal with two issues at once. Corruptors do shoo away all these Phoenixes, but we have a Sky Toss transition from Pocket Mike. We have a third Stargate, we have a Fleet Beacon. He's going to be going straight into carriers. Meanwhile, our Terran player usually has to help protect the Protoss to allow them to get here. But I don't see too much here from the Terran either. I don't think I like the Banshee transition, to be honest. What shoots up? Like, actually, what shoots up? We do have a little bit of a Hellion run by, but there are roaches to help deal with that. The Corruptors are here. They take out the CC. And this is what I'm worried about. We have Banshees, question mark, Banshees. They do nothing. The Phoenixes aren't going to do much to these Corruptors either. And the carriers just aren't here, or the Void Rays, or anything else. Oh my god. Ryu. He comes out, and again, like, Davo just didn't really have anything to support his teammate. Oh my god. We even have a drop going down. Speaking of not helping his teammate, Eric can't shoot up either, so Eric is having a hard time helping out against Phoenixes. No, Roach is getting picked up left and right. Hellion run by is on the way. The Roaches are needed at home, don't get me wrong. But oh god, the Hellions are going to be able to avoid them for the time being. Hellions, oh no! The drones, we see them ping each other. Ryu's like, yo, help me out, boy. Eric does rock up in time. Oh, the queens are still having a hard time against these Phoenixes. At the same time, Ryu turns around in the end. He was considering counterattacking, but thinks better of it for the time being. Okay, there we go. He turns around once again. Carriers are now commencing, but they're honestly a little bit exposed. These Corruptors, mate, they're looking for the carriers. Oh, do we have a shield battery here? No, we do. We do have a shield battery. We do have overcharge. Looks like the Corruptors will not find any damage here. They do scout the carriers, but at the same time, they take out the third base of Pocket Mike. Ryu just took down the third of Davo and Pocket Mike both. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Eric is just trying to defend at home. He's trying to get into Hydras, so we see Roach Hydra from one Zerg, and we see Pure Corruptor from the other. The time of Phoenixes has kind of come and gone. Again, because of the massive amount of Corruptors, they can't really do too much, but Pocket Mike, he still has kept them alive, so whatever damage he can get is kind of bonus damage at this point. Meanwhile, we didn't really get to talk much about it, but of course, Davo is playing mech. We do see a couple of Thors in production, tanks as well. The Thor Banshee was kind of a question mark, and he's committed, by the way. We have Hyperflight Rotors. My god. Again, though, unfortunately, these Phoenixes, like, they do get caught out. Phoenixes are going down. So very interesting here. We see Hyperflight Rotors. We also see Magfield Accelerators. So Davo's basically getting every single upgrade he can. And mech is good in 2v2, don't get me wrong. It's like mech and Sky Toss. Like, that's what you want to go for. And honestly, that's why Zerg is the weakest race in 2v2. So we'll see how they can do here as, oh my god, the orbital! Oh, can it get out of range? Oh, the Cosmic Spray. It looks like it will barely get out of range. Oh, it's go time. He dives on top of the carriers. One carrier goes down. Second carrier goes down. Third carrier. Oh my god. There's nothing to support the carriers. Where are the Void Rays? Where are the Phoenixes? Every single carrier goes down. Ryu's doing it. Ah! Ryu resets the carrier count. He was sniping bases earlier. Now he's finally going to have to go back home. But Pocket Mike gets knocked back down to the Stone Age. He has 0 carriers. He has 2 Pocket Mike's army. This is his army. He has 2 Phoenixes. That's all he's got. Oh my god. Meanwhile, of course, Davo, he still has a relatively large force to be reckoned with. But behind all of this, Eric has slowly been droning up. He's got the gold base. He's got a 5th base on the way as well. Let's not forget that Hydra, Lurker, Viper is coming out from Eric. He's kind of been on the back lines for the majority of this game, but now he's finally flourishing. He's finally coming into his final form. Let's not forget, like this entire time, now it's been Ryu who's been keeping his opponents busy at home. And because of that, there's been no harassment across the map. Eric, he deals with the rocks. He's getting ready to finally be a part of this game, to be a part of the fight. And unfortunately, we still have carry production. Like, we still have nothing but corruptors here for Ryu. And Ryu is not just corruptors. Actually, Ryu is... Oh, sorry. I mixed up the colors. He's also going for these Vipers. I really don't think Pokemon should try and save this base. The carriers are on the way, but we do see a force cancel. There are just far too many corruptors to really deal with. Davo is going to rock up and force him back, which is great. But look at the supply. Look at that soup. As I just realized something. A weird bug? Oh. I mixed up the players. Hey, I just woke up, okay? For some reason, I thought Ryu was red. Can I, like, switch these colors over? So Ryu is on the left in the UI, but he's red in-game. Sorry. Ryu is purple. He's left in the UI, but he's on the right in game. That's why I got confused. So it was Eric who was popping off, who was taking everything out, and Ryu is going Hydra Lurker right. This makes a lot more sense. I'll be honest, because Ryu is the Lurker King. We do see him come in with a couple of yoinks here. Both players are going for their Vipers. Like, the UI confused me. It confused the hell out of me. Oh god. Regardless, the Ducklings do have control of the map. Eric is going to be the one with the Mass Corruptor, with the Vipers as well. Vipers on Viper action here. And what do we have here to defend for our Team Super team? We have a wall of tanks, which honestly will help against the ground toss. We do have a couple of Thors to help support. Honestly, it's going to come down to the Viper control. It's going to come down to the yoinks. It's going to come down to the Parasitic Bomb, to the Blinding Clouds. It's all about them spellcasters. Oh my god, they're helping each other out. Ryu, oh my god, Ryu is going to be going for a massive Nidus play into the main base. At the same time, Eric slips in. He's going to be able to take down this planetary base here. The gold base goes down immediately. The Thors can't really help out. Meanwhile, at the same time, Hydras rock up at the third base. The Lurkers are going to dip into the main, but they're not going to do too much. They will get cleaned up in the end, and the Hydras can't really hold a candle to the mass carrier. We do see a little bit of a ping here, and it looks like Ryu wants Eric to rock around and help out against these carriers, but hey, at least he took down the gold. So everything that I said this game, just reverse Eric and Ryu, and then you're caught up. Can I switch? No, I can't. I was checking to see if I could switch the position of Ryu and Eric on the UI, but unfortunately I cannot. Oh god, we get another yoink. 3 yoinks for 2 carriers, worth it. Ryu will be able to trade a little bit here, but you know what? Eric is about to rock up to help out as well. That's the power of Hydra Viper, is we don't have any High Templar. We don't have any Storm. Like, Pokemon is actually going pure carrier, and there are weaknesses to this. Like, you need splash damage. You need your partner to help support you. Oh god, Davo, he is nowhere to be seen! Exclamation mark for now, Davo! As we see a mass blinding cloud, Eric and Ryu, they're just double teaming Pocket Mike right now. Pocket Mike, he's gonna lose everything. At the same time, Davo is pushing out across the map, but there's plenty of creep to stop him. There's plenty of queens as well. He's gonna take a long time here, and the carrier account for the second time this game gets reset. Meanwhile, we need a Greater Spire. I'll be honest. Basically, it's a 1v1. We have Ryu with Hydra Viper and Lurkers as well against Davo with his mech. These Corruptors aren't really helping at all. We need Broodlords. Speak and you shall receive. There we go. Broodlords are on the way. We even have a couple of Niduses in the main base of Davo. Gonna try and force him to turn around, but Davo says no. He's had enough of defending at home. For the first time this game, he's pushing out. And I say he says no, but oh, he thinks about turning around. He thought about it. Oh, as all the Lurkers are unloaded here. Meanwhile, we see a couple more Abducts, and Broodlords are finally helping out. Eric, he's here for his boy. Oh my god. And nothing shoots up here. The Broodlords reign supreme. They're going to force all of this back home. Meanwhile, the Lurkers do get cleaned up, so they will be forced all the way back. But again, like, there's no answer to the Broodlords here. We need carriers. We just something needs to shoot up. Eric slipping in is going to be able to take down the gold base once again. Meanwhile, the Broodlords are edging ever closer. The Ghosts are going to help with the snipes, but it's not enough. No, the Raven, the all-army hockey. Gold base goes down. We have Niduses here in between all the bases of Thabo and Parker Mike. The Lurkers are going to be coming in as well. And where is Parker Mike? He's coming in with the, no, not the carriers, not like this. Not again. Not for the third time. Every single carrier goes down. GG gets called. The CranKy Ducklings, Eric and Ryu, will take game number 1. Oh god. GG. Hello everyone again. Hello again. I did wake up late. To reiterate what happened, originally this tournament was planned for 4 a.m. In Australia yesterday. We moved it to today, so 24 hours later, and I thought it was just 24 hours. So I was like, okay, that's why I was streaming earlier today, and I stayed up and I was ready for a 4 a.m. broadcast, and then I was told, oh no, it's at 10 a.m. They moved it back even further. And I passed out. I was not ready to pull an all-nighter and stay up until 10 a.m. in the morning, so I ended up going to bed. I forgot to set an alarm, and alas, I slept in. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Unfortunately, we missed out on the first 2 rounds of the tournament and the lower semifinals, but we're here for at least 2 matches, the upper semis and the grand finals. And a lot has happened this tournament, not gonna lie. If we can quickly head on over to the bracket team. There we go. It should be set up. We're getting there. But a couple of things did happen. The big names for me were Parker Mike and Thabo as the team super team. The CranKy Ducklings team was originally Ryu and Chaos Fate, but Chaos Fate was unavailable, so Eric subbed in. So Ryu and Eric as the double Zerg team are here. And in the process of getting to the semifinals, they took down the Terran team. They took down Smile and Vindicta. I am so sad that we missed out on casting that. Like, Eric and Ryu versus Smile Smile and Vindicta would have been amazing. It would have been a ZVT of the ages. I'm sure Vindicta was streaming his POV. I'm sure he was. So if you want to tune into that game, it's probably there. If I was here on time, I would have 100% casted that series. I 100% would have been on that to see what happened. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Oh. Yeah, for some reason the challenge is not showing. Refresh cache of current page. We'll see. I'll try and fix it. Meanwhile, we did have a couple of other teams going through. Master and Yanji, they had a pretty deep run, also made it to the semifinals, but they got taken out by Sagan and Spaghetti. Very, very dark horse of a team. Sagan, he's a Chilean Protoss who has been on hiatus for like the past year and a half. But he recently started competing again. I think he joined Team Super as well. He was on Exertus for a while. And it looks like he's got something special planned in 2v2, him and his teammate. His teammate, I do not believe, is a pro player. So Sagan is kind of carrying. And that's the thing about 2v2. 2v2 is a format in and of itself. It's not the most balanced format. And there are certain cheeses that can work really well in 2v2. Oh. So Sagan has kind of taken down some favorites. Sagan and Spaghetti, they took down the Zerglord and NL Ghost. Like that's like the Brazilian team. Like damn. So they got taken out. On top of that, they took down Master and Yanji, the other Brazilian team. So Sagan, he's like the Brazilian Slayer. It's insane what he's been able to accomplish. There we go. The bracket is finally showing on stream. So yeah, massive shout out to Sagan there. Very unexpected for him for Sagan and Spaghetti to make the run they have. Meanwhile, there were some other people who slept in and didn't make it. You can see there, Special and Cham. Special and Cham were meant to be the Mexican team here. The pro team, the team of all teams. But they got walkover. They slept in just like Light. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But here we are in game number 2 of this best of 3 semifinals match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Fields of Death LE, we have the Peruvian Terran player. He is purple. He is here alongside his Mexican teammates, Paco Mike, and together, Tavo and Paco Mike are Team Super. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Fields of Death LE, we have the all Zerg team. We have the red and teal Zerg, of course, Eric and Ryu respectively. Together, they are the CranKy Ducklings. Los Patitos. Introing in 2v2 is always weird. Like, I don't know if I want to save like the fanfare for the player or the team name. I don't think they actually have team names. It's just, you know, it's just done in a way where they're both from the CranKy Ducklings and they're both from Team Super. Oh god. So we'll see how things go. Especially because the big myth or the big thing about 2v2 is that Zerg is the weakest race. When it comes to power units, Protoss has Skytoss and Terran has Mech, and usually once these two things really get underway and they get like 3rd or 4 bases up and running, they can become unstoppable. And for Zerg it can be a little bit difficult. Like, I was talking to our players and I was talking to Ryu and Eric earlier a couple of days ago, and Eric was like we need to find another teammate to help balance things out because Zerg can struggle sometimes. But we saw how they were able to work together, and it worked really well. We saw how Eric, he went straight to Aspire and went straight Mass Corruptor. And that's exactly what you want to be doing because Skytoss is so popular in this matchup. Like, going straight into Corruptors is the way to go. Meanwhile, Ryu was the one who was just defending constantly with Mass Queen Roach eventually until he got into Hydras and Vipers. Like, he delayed his own power units to like survive and to be able to hold on. I really like the way that they played it out. Oh. Meanwhile, first Reaper is here across the map. Eric is being punished a little bit here for his greed, for delaying his lings. We even have a Spine on the way. Oh my god. Which will eventually help out, and this Reaper getting a little bit more damage than it should have, to be honest. 1 kill already, 1 kill. The second Reaper is going to rock up as well, as Stavo did open up with a bit of a 2-racks at the same time. 2 Adepts are here as well from Paco Mike. They're a little bit slower, but they're here across the map. So instead, Team Super, they're looking to apply that aggression very early on. We do still have a Stargate opener from Paco Mike, but he's going straight for an Oracle instead of a Phoenix. So they don't want a long game. They do not want late game, not anymore. But you know what, Eric, he has a defensive Spine Crawler here in his mineral line. They were able to scout the opener earlier, so they are ready for this. So far, these Reapers, sure, they've gotten a couple of SCV kills. Sorry, a couple of drone kills, but Link Speed just finished up. Ooh. And the Reapers have to be so careful. They cannot commit to a deep engagement here, otherwise they will just get surrounded. The Tavo does back off. Paco Mike also backs off as well. And I don't know how fond I am of this, because the first Oracle is going to dip in. Yo, there's no Spore, but there are 2 Queens. Oh god. 2, 3. Just barely 3 drone kills, almost 4, but at the cost of the Oracle's life. Was that worth it? 4 drones for an Oracle? He is keeping the economy of Eric down a little bit, as the second Oracle is headed over to Ryu. Oof. Reaper is still trying to find a way in. Spores are going to be able to finish up here though, so the damage that this Oracle can get done is a little bit lower, as the Spore finished up just in time. Up, no, Paco back please! Second Oracle goes down. Not like this. And once again, Eric is going for the Spire, and Ryu is going for that Roach Warren. I love it. The synergy here from our Zerg brethren. No bias, no bias. But again, it does mean that Eric is going to be going for most likely Corruptors and Roach Hydra here for Ryu. Meanwhile, Parker Mike has set himself behind. It looks like Tava and Parker Mike both agreed to, again, be aggressive early on, hit the economy, cripple their opponents, and then get into their macro. Because of that, Phoenix production is much later than it otherwise should have been, and it wasn't really worth it to go for 2 oracles and lose them so early on, when you want to eventually get into that mid game, into that late game. So Team Super kind of stumbling out the gate, but maybe they'll have more success this game because expanding and getting your natural bases and maybe expanding and getting a 3rd base could be a little bit easier on this kind of map. It is larger, don't get me wrong, but you're able to like help support each other a little bit better maybe. It's a little bit hard to analyze, not too used to analyzing these 2v2 maps. Oh, there's actually a goal base as well. Oh, that could come into play. We'll see as we have a double jump moving out across the map to help support these Phoenixes. But Corruptors are already on the way. We already have Roaches. Ugh, we'll see how much damage these Phoenixes can get done. So far, a drone here or there, nothing too big. Meanwhile, the double drop. The Reapers are still alive from the early game, so they're definitely going to help out. The Roaches are here to meet them, but you know what? The Phoenixes are here to help CC the Roaches. Oh, the Queens, the Transfuse. We do have a couple of Transfuses, but we are out of Transfuse energy. It looks like in the end, the Queens are going to be going down. The Marines, they step on forward. Corruptors will eventually shoo away all of these Phoenixes, and it looks like there may be enough Roaches on the ground. Maybe. Oh, it's gonna be close. Roaches go down. The boys are being pulled. The Marines stand strong. After all said and done, this will get cleaned up. I will have to look at the units lost tab here to help get an eye on things and look at the drone damage. You can see Davo and Parker Mike haven't lost any workers this game. They've been the aggressors. They've been across the map. But has it been enough damage? Because in the end, 14 drones have gone down, which is good damage. But now the Zerg players, they're on the counterattack. They're on the offensive. Oh no! A couple of these Corruptors are left idle here. The Marines will take them down, but the Stargate gets taken down in response. So even though the Phoenixes were pushed away, the Corruptors, they're having a hard time dealing with the Terran. Oh no, Davo! Don't turn around! Come back, Davo! Come back! Parker Mike needs your help. The Marines, they turn around, but as they turn around, the tanks are left exposed. Eric, he jumps in and it looks like the tanks get saved by the Phoenixes. The big brain. Oh my god. No. Keep them up in the air. I love this, by the way. Again, Lings, they don't shoot up though. And it looks like Parker Mike is barely able to keep the tanks alive. Shout out to Parker Mike, mate. He's there for his boy. He knows that his Phoenixes can't help in a fight, but they can help to keep these tanks alive. Meanwhile, Corruptors, they dive in once again. They really want this main base, but Shield Battery Overcharge will keep all this alive. And as all this has been happening, again, because the Zerg players had all that pressure relieved, 4th base is on the way here for our Teal Zerg player, for Ryu. 3rd base is being thrown down for Eric as well. Meanwhile, oh god, these 3rd bases for our Team Super players, they're only just getting saturated, so they are behind economically. Oh, we even have Mutas coming in? Question mark? I don't know how I feel about this. Oh no, Mutas, you don't want to fight the Marines. Questionable move here from Eric. Going into Mutas, not really the best choice. And just like that, 6 Mutas go down, 600 gas down the drain. So any kind of economic advantage that Eric had did kind of go down going into these Mutas. Oh god. As we have continued Muta production? Question mark? Do we really want to go mass Muta, Eric? When we have Phoenixes coming out? To be fair, the Phoenixes are a response because we had Void Ray production, so Eric is trying to adapt to his opponent, but struggling a little bit. Meanwhile, Ryu, he's just chilling at home. Roach Hydra is the name of the game. Lurker Dead is on the way as well. And we'll see if they can deal with the bio. Like, honestly, I feel like the bio is the biggest issue. That's the big thing to take note of, is that Parker Mike is still going Sky Toss. but he's actually delaying his carrier production by quite a bit, going into Mass Phoenix first. Meanwhile, Davo is not going mech. Like, he's going bio-tank instead. And I feel like that's smart because there's no like Ling Bane to deal with the bio. Meanwhile, the mutas are gonna dive in, and Eric heard me. He's like, mate, mutas, they're gonna work, okay? I'm gonna make them work. Oh god, and just like that, an entire mineral line goes down, but Davo is undeterred. He does not turn around. Oh my god, he's going across the map, and Davo may be able to do this all on his own, but lurkers are on the way. We may not have Ling Bane to deal with the bio, but we do have lurkers. They're gonna be able to burrow. Oh no, they have to be careful. They cannot be in range of the tanks. Meanwhile, the mutas are trying to come back home, but the mutas get cleaned up by the Phoenixes. No! Mutas were not the answer. Not like this. Looks like the gold base is going to go down. Lurkers are going to be able to hold the line on the ground, but in the air, the Phoenixes were able to clean up the majority of those mutas. So Eric getting punished for his mistake there. Or I say mistake, for his decision to go into mass muta. He's forced to go back into Corruptors, but he lost a lot of supply. And now this is kind of turning into a 2v1. Oh my god, the lurkers had to be repositioned. Oh my god. He was not here in time. Tanks get sieged up. Again, there are a lot of lurkers here, so they are going to stop the Marines from really pushing on forward. But the gas guys is going to go down. Yo, bold base here from Ryu. My god. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to it though. For now, the base is actually being undisturbed, so it is on the way. Corruptor count getting ever so higher. Marines are trying to edge their way forward, but oh god, pushing into lurkers is never the answer. The Marines, they still on forward. They're trying to make some way here, but the Vipers come in. They do get a yoink on one of the tanks. Lurker Viper, the MVP. Oh god, the medevacs are getting taken out. Davo, por favor. Every single medevac does get taken out. Davo a little bit distracted across the map, I imagine. Oh, actually going for a bit of a drop here. Yeah, so maybe he was distracted for a good reason. Meanwhile, the Phoenixes, they just dive into the bases. They don't give a damn. They do have Phoenix range. Again, they cannot fight the Corruptors head on, but I mean, they don't even care. Maybe they should care though. Like, they are trading with workers, don't get me wrong, but this is a lot of supply going down the drain. Meanwhile, it looks like the gold base is going to get taken out again. These drops have been absolutely insane from the side of Davo. Oh, another yoink. And another yoink. It looks like the Terran army is going to be cleaned up. Oh, the Vipers. It looks like only 2 Vipers will survive, but the entire Terran army does get cleaned up. Now, finally, our Zerg players can get these bases up and running. I still cannot believe that Ryu got this gold base. Like, this should never have happened. The Void Ray should have been able to stop this. But because of that, Ryu, his economy is going to be okay. Eric is struggling a little bit more. He does expand here towards the bottom right instead. He just lost his gold base. But because his Corruptor is relatively thick, a lot of them have survived the entire ordeal, but I'm really concerned here because, again, if we look at the supplies, it's really about like Davo versus Eric. It's about the bio tank against the Lurker Viper. And the other players are still just struggling to get into this, and oh my god, Eric, he's looking for some damage and he slips into the main. No, not like this, the carriers. It looks like the overcharge will not be able to keep these Stargates alive. 2 Stargates do end up getting sniped. Honestly, pretty well worth it here. Another Ling run by takes out the Nexus on the left-hand side of the map. There is a planetary here at the gold base, but again, this is going to be under threat. Oh, never mind. The biotech is here. Are we going to see some coordination? The Lings and the Hydra Lurker. Yo, Davo's on his own right now. Paco Mike needs to back him up. He needs your help. Oh, as the tank does get abducted. Another tank gets abducted. Decent EMP on the Vipers. Oh god. Here we go. All our players have united here. We do see the carriers finally taking a part of this engagement. And without the Vipers, there is no real answer here. The Viper is slowly gathering that energy, but they need a little bit more time. Oh god. We do see the carrier tank just sieging on forward. The Vipers, oh, do get a yoink. I love this. Maybe I'm Zerg biased, but I love the synergy between like the corruptors, like the air and the ground Zerg. Oh god, Parker Mike, I feel like he needs to invest in his own like splash damage though. Like, I understand the power of Skytoss, and he's just like the previous game, he's just going mass carrier. But like High Templar, not just with Storm, but with feedback, like to have two spellcasters, Ghost and High Templar working together, I feel like that's what you want here in team games. Not gonna lie. Like, and I feel like Parker Mike has the control to have both. He's not like your typical like team game player, you know, he's a pro, like he knows how to do this. Oh boy, meanwhile, a couple more yoinks are going to be going down here. No, where the EMPs are not here. Why are they not here? Because we have a double drop towards the bottom right. Eric, he just cannot get a base up and running. Feels Eric, man. He just wants a fourth. Let him get a fourth. Oh my god, we have yoinks on ghosts? Oh, it does cause an EMP to land on the Vipers though. I don't know if that was really worth it, as Eric is about to lose 2 bases. That was a kill, not a cancel. Eric is going to try and get this gold up and running, but Eric is running out of money. Like, he needs another base. No, the corruptors are alone. I'm sorry, the carriers are alone. 1, 2, 3, 4 carriers go down. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's so much, like, it's really hard to coordinate with your teammate to help support your units. So, like, mate, support yourself in a way, you know, get some Archons, get some High Templar to help out your carriers. So often they're just left so exposed. Meanwhile, we do have a couple more yoinks here on these tanks. There's only 1, 2 tanks left. Okay, reinforcing tanks are coming in. Oof. Meanwhile, that double drop from earlier is pushing into creep. It is going to be helping out, coming in from behind. Oh my god, can it actually get some drone kills? We'll see as Tavo does step away. This entrenched position is so difficult to push into though. We have spores, we have lurkers, we have a Nidus across the map. Once again, Eric gets into the main base of Parker Mike. He just doesn't let Parker Mike get going. This time, every single Stargate is going to go down. This time, there is no production for Parker Mike. We even have lurkers coming in as well. A little bit ambitious. Looks like the lurkers will get cleaned up. But what we see is what we get when it comes to the corruptors. Carriers. Oh, God. I keep saying the wrong one. Oh, the yoinks. Meanwhile, Eric needs to come back home, and it looks like he will. He doesn't just come back home. He dives on the carriers once again. No fear. And Parker Mike is knocked down to the Stone Age. He literally has 0 supply. He lost his army, and he lost his production. Now it's only Tavo. 1v2 once again. Tavo is on his own with the help of a single Oracle. Ay. There we go. 4 Stargates being thrown down at a time in the main base again, which is probably the most exposed place here for Parker Mike. Questionable moves. Like, don't get me wrong, Tavo has been slowly pushing forward. Oh, this is a questionable push here from Eric. Sorry, from Ryu, but he does throw down some blinding clouds. He will be able to take this fight nonetheless. Again, Tavo, he's just being spread too thin here. Trying to fight 2 players at once. Meanwhile, oh no, the corruptors, they just keep coming into the main. Oh god. And Parker Mike, Eric says no. Eric just says no to Parker Mike. You cannot play this game. You cannot get into Skytoss. Oh my god. And Eric, you know what? He's like, because I've dealt with all this production, I can actually invest in a ground army. He's going for the mass Ling. Banelings would be amazing, but Lings still help out. Oh, the ghosts are coming ever closer. We did see a couple of good snipes on those lurkers. Tanks are sieging on forward. Oh god, again, Tavo trying to carry his team here. We do see another yoink on one of those tanks, and at the same time, everything is red. Like, the corruptors are just going free. They're taking down every single base across the map. Tavo is all in. Team Super is all in here as 3 bases go down at once. Crazy. I just love that Eric is still finding uses for these corruptors. Like, he's not just focusing on finding like units to hunt down, like he's just taking base after base. And I don't know if there's much left here for Thavo. GG gets called. Paco Mike taps out. It's only Thavo. It's actually just 1v2 right now. And he cannot stand strong here against the might of Ryu. GG gets called. Ryu, Eric, the CranKy Ducklings move on to the grand finals. Things were honestly pretty shaky at the beginning. Like, in a way, this was kind of closer than game one, in a way, except, let's be real, like, Paco Mike was bullied hard. Like, Paco Mike just couldn't catch a break. He just wanted to take flight. He just wanted to max out. And I think he only got up to like 130 supply max. Like, his production just kept getting harassed. His carriers kept getting caught off guard as well. And again, in team games, I understand the power of going mass carrier. But when you're up against pro players, I think it's smarter to invest in your own supportive units. I understand that, like, ideally you're meant to synergize with your teammate and you're meant to be able to, like, you know, what is it in Pacific Rim? Like, you link up, you there's a term where, like, you connect on like a genetic level or like a spiritual level. And you're able to like read each other and you're able to be where you need to be for your partner. But that's really difficult to coordinate. So more often than not, like, there's a reason why Eric made Lings and Eric made Mutas. It's so Eric could have some anti-ground as well with his corruptor, so he doesn't have to always rely on Ryu. Same with Ryu going, you know, for Roach Hydra to begin with, right? Like, you want to be able to cover yourself if need be. You don't want to just focus on like this one unit. And that is a power unit for Protoss, but again, like, so often the carriers were left with nothing else to help them out, when Archons would have been so good for Paco Mike. Meanwhile, GG, well played. That was a crazy series, and I'm glad I at least was able to catch this. Again, apology. You are free to funada me in the chat for not being here in time for the first couple of rounds. But yeah, it was great to see these players duke it out. Unfortunately, Paco Mike and Thavo, they are knocked out of the tournaments. They are no longer with us. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. And now we're getting ready for the grand finals. Oh boy. And I'm excited because these players have been taking down pros, which is crazy. It's not something that I ever expected to see. Oh my god, how do you spell his name? Hold on. Hold on. Okay. There we go. And that is Team Sagan and Spaghetti. I've never heard of Spaghetti before. I have no idea who he is. Sagan, we have casted him before. If you remember, there's some history with Sagan. He's a Chilean Protoss, and back in 2020, he was Masters. And he got taken in by the Alpha X Protosses back in the day, because he was on Alpha X. Specifically, Dastan and Darkness, the other Chilean Protoss players. They kind of took Sagan under their wing and they propped him up, and I think he got up to Masters 1, maybe low GM at the time. And then Sagan stopped competing. Fun fact, he's a teacher. He finished his studies and he focused on his studies and he got a job as a teacher. So Sagan, he stepped away from StarCraft, but last year, at the end of last year, he came back to competing, and he doesn't play in a lot of Sentimientos and a lot of like Copa Hyperions, but he has shown up for a couple of these a couple of these Team Super tournaments. So he is slowly being active, and he is GM. I think he's like 5.5 or something like that. So he's actually gotten really good. Like, Sagan has actually improved a lot. So it's cool to see him back after a long hiatus. If you want to see some old VODs of Sagan, they're on our Twitch channel. They're on our YouTube channel from years ago. And now he's returned, and he's here in the grand finals. Like, Sagan is not a household name. In a 1v1, I would favor Yanji, I would favor Master, I would favor the Zerglord, these pro Brazilian players. But in 2v2s, all these pros have been knocked out by Sagan and Spaghetti. So I'm thinking, and like they're cheesing them out. That's the only way, right? Like, again, unfortunately, I'm just not familiar with these players. So I have to assume they're not macro games, question mark. We'll see. Unfortunately, I wasn't here to cast the lower semi, so I don't know how they've been winning these games. I would be very impressed if it's just straight up macro games. And if they're able to like, because they have more experience in 2v2, maybe they have better ideas for army compositions and army movements and army control, and they just work together better as a team. Bearing in mind that Ryu and Eric haven't been practicing their 2v2s, like they weren't necessarily preparing themselves for this, and they don't play a lot of team games together. So this is kind of like a haphazard team. Whereas Sagan and Spaghetti, I feel like they probably have a lot more experience playing team games together. Oof. So we'll see. I'm excited. I'm very excited here for the grand finals. Somebody touch my spaghetti. God. Asher, bro, please. Weakest race, like getting confused again. Oh god. I hope everyone has been enjoying the 2v2 so far. Again, maybe Asherbro can enlighten us. He's playing Terran. It's more like 0.5 versus 2. Oh god. The Terran apologist is in the chat. But maybe Asherbro can let us know what happened with Smile and Vindicta in their games, because again, we weren't able to cast it. I'm assuming that it was streamed from their own perspectives, and maybe Asherbro can give us a little bit of insight on what happened there. Whether it was like one of them played mech and one of them played bio, or both bio, or like how they played against Eric and Ryu. Specifically, that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. As our players are just busy conducting their vetoes. Oh. Looks tightly. Yo, is something going on? Check if I have the right scene in SC2 scenes for sure. I do? Oh boy. Alright. Was just checking something with Kura, but yeah, we'll see how things go here. Quickly checking the prize distribution, because I wasn't too certain. Okay. It looks like top 4 is going to be paid out, so there may be a 3rd place match. So I'm slipping into some DMs with password. As I'm not 100% certain, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% certain about that. Whether we're going to be playing for 3rd place or not. Oh, and I have confirmation. Here we go. So we will have a 3rd place match first. So I was a little bit confused when it comes to the prize distribution and challenge, because on challenge it doesn't show 3rd place, but it is going to be a 3rd place match. So 4th place gets 20 USD, 3rd place gets 40 USD. Let's go. So let's just duplicate this. Go Davo/Paco Mike. So before the grand finals, we will be able to have another series before us. Team Super, they're not out yet. Is this against a team like Amantes? The Zerg Lord. And he's with NL Ghost, right? Oh wait, no, it's not the Zerg Lord, it's Master. It is Team Amantes. Oh, I love it. Master/Yan G. there we go. Beautiful. Let me get the team logos up and running here. Amantes de StarCraft. Ah. You love to see it when there's like team synergy like that. You don't see it too often. Endeavor. Oh god, the memes. Alright, the players are just conducting the vetoes. The party has been made. And as you can see on the screen here, that's not updated for some reason. There we go, there we go. Beautiful. We have our third place match. Dava and ParkerMike, they are not going to walk away empty-handed. They may have gotten taken out by the better team. By the CranKy Ducklings, no bias. But they're still here in this tournament, and they're still vying for that third place spot. And they're going to be going up against the Brazilian team, Amantes de StarCraft, Master and Yanji. They're both really good friends, and they have both changed their name for this tournament. So exclamation mark for nada, these players. God damn it. They did this before. I think in the last go-by period, one of them was like McQueen and the other was Speed or something. I never watched Cars, but they both changed their names to like Cars characters. God, shaking my head. Oh god. But they are the Brazilian team, and they did get 2-0'd by Sagan. So I wonder what it is that they're going to be doing here. And what's interesting to me is that this is going to be a mirror matchup. For those who are unfamiliar with our Latin American players, Tavo is Terran, Yanji is Terran, ParkerMike is Protoss, Master is Protoss. And in 1v1s, Team Super have the stronger players. 100%, 100%. ParkerMike is the best Latin American Protoss player, period. Tavo, a very strong up-and-coming Terran player as well. Master and Yanji, they're in the middle of the pack when it comes to the pro scene, when it comes to EPT, for example. They're both very good players, don't get me wrong. They're very consistent players. They're GM, they're 5.5, 5.6. But when it comes to the overall ranking of where all these players lie, they are a little bit lower. But team games is a different beast, you know. In a 1v1, they may be a little bit lower ranked, but if they have a little bit better team synergy, a little bit better decision making, if they're able to sync up a little bit better as well, then hey, they can take down their opponents, just like how Sagan has been able to take down all the pros himself as well, Sagan and Spaghetti. So yeah. 1v1 rank may not matter so much here in 2v2. Oh. As the players have finished up their vetoes and we are getting ready for game number 1. Sagan and Spaghetti are team LTK. Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry, we were talking about Tavo and ParkerMike. Oh, did I have the wrong team name earlier? Ah, yes, of course. Team LTK. I didn't have the team set. I assumed they weren't a part of a team, to be honest. But cool, they're a team of they're a part of License to Kill, which is pretty sick. Yeah, featured plenty of their team players before, or even in Berserker Team League as well. Let me just look for their logo. There we go. But yeah, it's really cool that when it comes to the top 4 players, like they all belong to their own respective actual esports team, so it works out in that way. It's really cool. We don't see that too often. Like for example, Vindicta and Smile is still representing Exertus, I believe, and Vindicta's CranKy Ducklings, so they didn't have that. Maybe that's why they're their top 4 teams, you know, maybe. Pato listo. Let's go. And I'm quickly checking to see if anyone is off racing, because I know some players do off race for team games, but no, they are not. We have confirmation we are getting that mirror matchup. But thank you for letting me know. I knew Sagan was on License to Kill. I said it before, I don't know who Spaghetti is, so apparently I guess he's also on License to Kill. I slept in. I probably woke up around when you did. Ah, okay. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. One day I will open the stream and it won't be grand finals. Well, that day, Torque, is today, because here we are in not the grand finals. We are in our third place match, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Heavy Artillery LE, we have the Peruvian Terran player. He is red. We have Davo alongside his teammate, the Mexican Protoss player, the blue Protoss, Paco Mike, and together they are Team Super. Meanwhile, spawning in the top right hand corner of Heavy Artillery ALE, we have their opponents, their Brazilian opponents. We have the purple Protoss player. In game, he is Relampago, but he is Master. Alongside his Terran teammate, he is Teal, of course, Yanji, and together Master and Yanji are Team Amantes de StarCraft. Repping their beautiful logo. If you're wondering, Amantes de StarCraft are a Brazilian team, one of many. There are honestly a lot of Brazilian teams. Oh god. And this is going to be the first time that we feature them, so we'll see what they have to offer, and we'll see how their compositions, their overall compositions, change over time compared to Davo and Paco Mike. We've seen that Paco Mike, he's fond of Skytoss, and let's be honest, Skytoss is pretty powerful here in 2v2s. But Davo has dabbled with mech, he's dabbled with biotank, so, you know, he's shown that he's willing to diversify his overall game plan. Meanwhile, you know, what do Master and Yanji have to offer instead? For none of these players, they change their names very often. Endeavor and Relampago, shaking my head. Not their actual names, but they have changed them for this tournament. God damn it. And we'll see where they go. So far, you know, we see our players taking their expansions. Master does take the safe pocket expansion, so forcing Yanji to be a little bit more exposed here on the low ground. And oh my god, we do have that bit of a difference here. Davo is expanding, but taking his base here on the high ground. A little bit safer to expand on the low ground. Paco Mike is opening up straight into double Stargate. And this is the kind of greedy stuff that you can do. Like, hey, in a 2v2, you rely on your opponent to defend, you skip Warp Gate completely, and you just throw down 2 Stargates. What a madman. Absolutely insane. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have a Stargate opener, but this is a standard Stargate opener. Like, this is as if Master is playing a 1v1. He is going for a second Stargate, but again, his production overall will be late, will be delayed, and because of that, Paco Mike, he's just gonna have the Phoenix advantage. And like, winning the Phoenix Wars in the sky is so important in 2v2. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, Yanji, he did open up again with a faster factory, less so a CC, so economically he's also going to be behind. Overall, it feels as if Team Super is a little bit more accustomed with 2v2, and because of that, they're able to be a little bit more efficient and be more greedy and honestly get away with it. Meanwhile, Yanji and Master, they're playing this a little bit more as if it's 1v1. I say a little bit more because Yanji is still, of course, you know, expanding, and he still did go for a CC, and it still was on the high ground to make sure it's safe. But again, just a bit of a less efficient build overall, I feel. Oh. This Paco Mike is zooming across the map. So the Phoenixes still have not encountered each other, but looking at the units tab, we have 4 Phoenixes for Paco Mike, only 3 here for Master. In a couple of seconds, he will have a 4th, and he does have a shield battery to support him, so ideally he does fight with the help of the shield battery. Meanwhile, Paco Mike slips in. He will get 1, 2 probe kills. Master? Oh, he does respond. Oh, pulling back that weakened Phoenix, and in the end, he will be able to defend with that advantage, with the defender's advantage, of course. So Paco Mike isn't able to take control of the sky. Not yet, but oh god. Yanji has to be careful as well. Like, Master has to be on point with protecting him. Oh, and it looks like Master will be able to take down one of those Phoenixes. In the middle of all of that, Davo was getting ready to help drop these Marines, but unfortunately he wasn't really able to take part of this fight, so they do get forced back. I love how like they were lined up for this like double-pronged attack. It just didn't quite work out for Tavo and Paco Mike. They were so close, though. They were so close. So in the end, both players will end up expanding. I think what I like most is that neither one of Paco Mike or Tavo has taken the pocket base yet. And I feel like that's pretty important, like saving this for later on in the game, where it can get a little bit more difficult to get these bases up and running. And we'll see as, yeah, of course, our players are doubling down. We do have Anion Pulse Crystals on the way here for Paco Mike. Phoenix Range, of course. I'm surprised we do not see a Fleet Beacon here for Master. Instead of going for Phoenix Range, he's investing in +1 air attack instead. Both of them have their place, and I mean, Paco Mike is still getting his as well, don't get me wrong, but Phoenix Range is going to be a game changer. I don't know if I like this. Oh boy, we'll see. As we do see in the end, our players have kind of decided the routes they want to go for. Tavo is going for mech, Yanji is going for bio. Of course, Tavo is going to make do with these Marines, and the Marines are going to go down. Meanwhile, at the same time, Master has the Phoenix Advantage, and despite not having Phoenix Range, he cleans everything up. Phoenix Range is about to finish up in a couple of seconds. Oh my god, Master, let's go. He cleans up every single Phoenix, and now there's nothing to stop him. Tavo, he has to respond on his own. He does have a lot of Widow Mines, and Widow Mines will definitely help out, but they're also a little bit slow. They're going to scuttle their way into the natural base of Paco Mike, but not in the main. Paco Mike loses everything. Paco, don't like this. Oh, God. Where Master lacked in Phoenix Range, he made up for in 2 more Stargates. And he did take a lot of Widowmine shots to the face, don't get me wrong, but it looks like the pieces were spread out just enough for it not really to come into play. At the same time, we do have the Banshees across the map trying to deal some damage, trying to deal some economic damage, but what can Tavo really do? We've been here before where it's like a 1v2. Where it's like Tavo alone against Eric and Ryu, and I feel like that's going to happen again. Like Paco Mike, he just can't get a break. He just wants to play the game, but every single time he's just being harassed to death. Not like this. I guess now I have to say, thankfully, Tavo is going for mech, the more like efficient of the 2 army compositions, but he's gonna have a hard time really getting into that mech. He takes the pocket base, which makes sense. He's gonna need a couple more resources here. But alas, everything that Tavo loses here is so brutal, by the way. Oh my god, Yanji even splitting off one of his Marines to help tank that Widowmine shot. And Team Super, they're just getting pulled apart right now. Again, like Paco Mike's just not a part of the game, period. He's just losing worker after worker. And Tavo, he just can't protect both bases at once. Probes, get out of here. Borrow, go invisible, do something. Oh god. As we see, Master, he is content with his Phoenix count. He is going into those carriers now instead. And I think this may just be over, to be honest. Like, Paco Mike is down to 37 supply. Like, he is just, for all intents and purposes, he is out of this game. And Tavo was investing all this supply and harassing across the map, but he got cleaned up. He does have Widow Mines at home. Let's be real. He does have some Cyclones as well, but does he really have what it takes to take down 2 armies, to take down carriers at that? We'll see, we'll see. Maybe with like the perfect Widowmine shots. With the perfect Widowmine shots, it's possible. It's possible. Here we go. He's gonna try and bait him in. Widowmine shots too off. Oh no! It's a little bit of friendly fire do hurt Paco Mike even more. Oh god. And the Phoenix count is just too high. Like, let's not even talk about the fact that we have carriers on the map, but even without the carriers. speaking of, we do have a couple of Banshees across the map trying to harass the army, harass the bases of Yanji. So Davo, he's not out of this game yet. He's going down. He's not going down without a fight. Pakamak is there. The carriers reveal themselves. Oh, God. Davo even taking Ninja base, but that it's over. GG gets called. Team Amantes take game number 1. Our team synergy to defeat our teammate Chase is something to behold. True. Oh, God. It was showing the 1v1 overlay? Oh. Was it? Oh, my mistake. My apologies. I thought SC2 scene switcher was fixed for that. Oh. Okay, I'll fix that. Oh, God. Meanwhile, massive shout out to Vindicta. Thank you so much. Thank you, Puppy, for the raid. Let us know how your 2v2s went, because I'll be honest, I slept in. I missed out on Vindicta and Smile being the 2v2 team and going up against Eric and Ryu, so I apologize, I missed out. But let us know how the games went, and I hope you enjoyed your stream overall. Meanwhile, if you're just tuning in, we are in the semi-finals of SuperExtra Latino America 2v2, our 2v2 tournament. Vindicta was competing in this earlier and did make it relatively far, but was knocked out by his teammates, Eric and Ryu. Eric and Ryu, of course, are in the finals, but we're not in the finals yet. We are still figuring out who is third and who is fourth, as we are in that bronze match. Oh boy. Up. And it looks like they finished up their vetoes, and we are going to be diving into Nightscape. I don't even know what map Nightscape is, I'll be honest. Oh, God. I'm not familiar with the names of a lot of these 2v2 maps, other than Emerald City. I know Emerald City. Okay, there we go. This is the map, of course. It's the purple map with a couple of gold bases, rocks as well. Kind of a more choky map overall. There's just kind of one pathway going through the center. But we'll see. We'll see if Pakamak and Davo can make a comeback here. Something that I just noticed as well, which is pretty curious, is looking at the bracket. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Every single series has been a 2-0. We haven't had an ace match, which is shocking to me, I'll be honest. Like, out of every single series, just 2-0s across the board. Wow. Just letting them know that we are good to go. See even Dick Nice in the chat. Aye, and here we go. We are diving into our second game of our bronze match. Again, unfortunately, neither one of these teams, neither one of these players are going to move on to the grand finals, but they are still fighting for some money. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Nightscape LE. We have our Peruvian Terran player hailing from the land of Peru. He is red. He is, of course, Davo, alongside his teammate, the Mexican Protoss player, Pakamak. And together, Pakamak and Davo, they are Team Super. I'm still unsure about how to do player intros. I don't know if you can tell, it's a little bit awkward. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Brazilian team. We have the Brazilian Protoss player. He is purple. He is Master, alongside his teammate, of course, the teal Terran Yanji, and together they are Amantes de StarCraft. Currently leading the series 1-0. Up, there we go. Nice. Also, I do apologize. I wasn't using the correct overlays. I didn't notice. Look, I'm just waking up. Okay, give me a break. But here we go. These are the 2v2 overlays that I should be using. More nicely snuck in there. Oh. Shout out to Kuro. Of course, she does make all of our overlays. Without Kuro, the stream wouldn't be anywhere near as beautiful. Wow. Ay. Oh god. And yeah, we'll see how this game goes instead, as we do see Parker Mike being a little bit aggressive, a little bit annoying here. I don't blame him. I feel so bad for Parker Mike, both in the third place match and even in the semifinals. Like, Parker Mike gets bullied so hard. They just don't let him play his game, which makes sense. Like, Protoss is scary in 2v2s. Like, you don't want to let them get into their sky toss, but you know, let him play. Kappa. As this game, he's opening up with a double gateway. Oh my, interesting. So a couple of depths are going to be coming out. So we do see overall our players are going to be that much more aggressive here. Approaching this in a very similar way as their semifinals match. If you remember, against Eric and Ryu, Thalva and Parker Mike, game 1 was all about macro. Game 2, they kind of ramped things up and they were really aggressive early on and transitioned later to get a bit of a lead early on. Against Eric and Ryu, that didn't really happen. The Zerg team was able to defend, honestly, quite well. But we'll see how that differs here, because, very interestingly, Tavo is going for very fast Magville accelerators. Oh no! Master, por favor! Not like this! As we do have a little bit of latency here, but oh, okay, we're good. Master is back. Thankfully, this was in the early game. It wasn't like when a big engagement was happening, so any kind of latency that he was experiencing didn't really affect too much, thankfully. And hopefully it's able to clear up over time and doesn't affect our series. Master, please. Master, please. We only have a couple games to go. Meanwhile, Double Adept are going to be able to rock up here. Yanji lifts up, question mark? Oh, is he going for the gold? He's going for the gold! Ah! Oh my god, probably the biggest feature of this map is the fact that there is a gold base. It is covered by rocks, but it is there nonetheless. Meanwhile, Yanji is here with his Marines. It looks like he will be able to catch these Adepts, not before losing some SCVs though, as the Adepts do get cleaned up and 2 SCVs end up falling. But this is the power of Terran. Sure, there are some very annoying debris here, just covering and keeping you from taking the space, but a Terran player can just float over and take the gold. Speaking of floating over, we do see a Rax on the way as well. Tavo did commit to mech, and he already has 2 Cyclones here across the map. We'll see how this works, because Parker Mike is still working off of only 2 gateways. He's 1 basing, by the way, which is shocking to me. 1 base Protoss. Alright, let's go. With only 2 gateways, like, I just don't think he has a production. Already losing one of his stalkers. Parker Mike, not like this. Void Rays are gonna rock up, and it may just be over before it began. Okay, we have another wave of reinforcements coming in from our Protoss player. We do have a 3rd gateway just now finishing up. So 3 stalkers can be warped in at a time. At the same time, though, we have some shield batteries. We have overcharge as well. Like, breaking a defensive Protoss player like this, like, do we really want to commit? Can we really pull this off? God, we'll find out. Small Void Rays are rocking up as well. Obviously, Tavo does have the advantage in Cyclones. He will be able to dominate Yanji, but the Void Rays are putting in a lot of work. And there we go. Overcharge is popped. Unfortunately, overcharge doesn't help the Terran player, so just like that, Yanji's army just evaporates, but we do have a tank in the back line, and a tank may be all we need. As all this is happening, there we go, another massive warp in of Stargate Eaters. Oh, a Cyclone does end up falling, and again, with a tank here to help support the Void Rays, it's going to be so difficult for Parker Mike to close the distance and just dive on those, dive on the Void Rays. Oh, he's going for it. Ah, he does target down the tank, but at the cost of everything. Oh, not like this. They're dancing. That was a questionable move. I was like, yo, it's going to be difficult for these stalkers to dive on top of the Void Rays. Instead, they dive on top of the tank. In a couple of seconds, the tank gets replaced, and they just dove into just nothing but just Void Ray fire. It was crazy. And just like that, Pachamike, he's forced to expand. Thabo did have a base behind this, unfortunately not the gold base. But like, they're in a really rough place now. Void Ray count getting ever so higher. We do see that it's not just going to be Skytoss, that Master is taking up behind this. We see a Robo, a Twilight Council as well. Oh, sorry. A Robo and 2 more Stargates. Never mind, he is going Skytoss. Oh, God. And in the end, they are able to clean all of this up, force Team Super back. And where do we go from here? Pachamike, he's doubling down and working on Blink. So he's going to be going Blink Stalkers. I don't know if they're the best army in 2v2s, but we'll see what he can get done with them. Meanwhile, despite floating his racks across the map, okay, now it is going to be mech. Look, there's a lot of production lines, okay? Sometimes I think Thabo is GNG. So we are seeing mech from Thabo. And it looks like he will be looking to take this gold base. Defensively, I do think that they're going to be at their strongest, but I just worry because I worry for the moment where Master throws down a fleet beacon and goes into carriers. Like, I just worry when it comes to Pachamike and what his power units are going to be. Looks like he's decided he's going to be going for a robotics bay, so disruptors most likely, maybe Colossus. But he gets scanned. And like this is crazy. He's going for a disruptor drop. Like, what is a disruptor drop going to do against Mass Phoenix? Like, he's lost his mind. He's going to try and get past the Skytoss army? Oh my god. I wish Pachamike the best of luck. he's going to need it. As the Phoenixes do rock up, it looks like they're going to be able to pick off a couple of these Cyclones. One Cyclone goes down at the cost of a Phoenix. Doesn't have enough to really push through the power of both armies. But like, the scan confirmed that it was going to be a drop, or at least Colossus. Hopefully the War Prism doesn't run into all these Phoenixes, is all I'm saying. It's all I'm saying. Meanwhile, we do see them rotate around, take down a couple more workers here on the left-hand side. Stalkers, unfortunately, were a little bit out of position to defend the space, so with the Cyclones, they do rock up. And this is the moment that I was dreading. Carriers are indeed on the way. Again, Yanji and Master, they can kind of do whatever they want at this point. Like, after the early aggression, Thabo and Pachamike just haven't been able to be on the map. They just haven't really had a presence to go on the map, or even a presence to defend at home. Like, despite being stuck at home, they're even struggling to defend their bases. Speaking of the War Prism drop, it does get caught out. Doesn't get caught by the Phoenixes, thankfully, but does get caught out by the Marines. So still forced back at home nonetheless. Oh. No! The tanks! They didn't even care. They could have gone for the tanks instead. They went for some more economic damage. Pick off all the probes. Aye. Can Thabo carry? I feel like that's what I'm always asking. Oh god. As it did have a Nova going off. It did get what, like 5 or 6 probe kills. Not bad, not bad. He was able to bob and weave and get past all the Phoenixes. Props to Pachamike. And I guess he's just doubling down on the grounds. I mean, he has to after the opener. I don't blame him for not trying to get into the air. Like, when you're this far behind, like, trying to go into your own Phoenixes or your own carriers isn't the most wise of choices. As Pachamike moves out, he's gonna run into the army, so he's gonna be forced all the way back. And I just love that Yanji doesn't even care. He scans. Oh, doesn't want to push up this ramp. There are a lot of tanks. There are disruptors as well. In general, Yanji's army can't really find too much damage, but the tanks they get picked up. Oh my god, he doesn't even have to turn around. The Phoenixes, they CC the majority of the tanks, but Yanji's army overall just can't really push in any further. I assumed, especially because of the economy, I thought like I keep saying Tabo. I thought that Yanji, like, he would be able to just overwhelm with a bio army, but he literally just lost everything. In general, Yanji's macro has been slipping. Despite not being harassed and despite having the gold base, by the way. Which I'm a little bit shocked by it. So really here in the defense, it's just Master, and just like that, one carrier goes down, second one is trying to be focused down, but every single Blink Stalker gets focused down. There's just not enough here. GG gets called. Master may be alone here, but he's got a goddamn death ball, and just like that, Master and Yanji take the series 2-0, and they will be our third place finalists. GG. Congratulations, Yanji and Master. Overall, they did play out a little bit. They did have a stronger showing here, at least in this series, from what we were able to see. And even though they weren't able to make it to the finals, I'm glad that they were able to come out on top here and still make some more money. So congratulations. Congratulations, Yanji and Master. Wow. Just a dominant showing there by Master. I'm a little bit perplexed as to how Yanji was kind of flopping on his face a little bit there. Like, he did lose a lot of his buy pushing into tank lines, so it was a bit of a shame with how that turned out. But Master was so far ahead with his army. Like, mate, once you have Sky Toss, like, ugh, that was disgusting. And with that, it is time for the grand finals. As you can see here on the screen, there we have it. Eric and Ryu have been resting up a little bit. I say resting up, it is very late for Ryu. I say this all the time, but Ryu does live in Italy. He does live in Europe, and it is like 5 a.m. where he is. So he is going to be a little bit fatigued, a little bit tired going into this. Hopefully it doesn't affect him too much, and hopefully Eric is able to keep him awake and keep him, you know, on notice for these grand finals. Meanwhile, I wonder what race Spaghetti is. I did see that there was someone else from License to Kill in the chat. So I would appreciate a little bit of insight on who he is as I quickly take a peek at his in-game profile. Does seem to be Masters 1, low GM, around 5k MMR. So 1v1, not bad, not bad. And oh! Is he Protoss? Are we seeing, are they a double Protoss team? Oh, interesting. I have not seen a double Protoss team in 2v2 yet, so that's terrifying. Okay. So in 2v2, I think we can all agree, and we've all seen how powerful Phoenixes are in 2v2 and how much utility they provide. What happens if we have two Protosses going Phoenixes? That sounds terrifying. Oh my god. Yeah, we'll see, because I'm looking at Spaghetti, and he's hit GM with both Terran and Protoss, so I'm not entirely sure about whether or not he's going to pick Terran or Protoss, so we'll see. For certain, I can say he's not going to be Zerg. I know that much at least. Oh, we will find out as the lobby is being made. Looks like they just finished up their vetoes. First map will be heavy artillery. And Spaghetti for the time being is Terran. So, Protoss Terran? Oh? I guess so. Protoss Terran is the name of the game. Oh boy, we've seen a lot of Protoss Terran. We saw it in the semis, we saw it in third place. Protoss Terran seems to be a pretty popular 2v2 composition. They can kind of synergize quite well, and we'll see how they can stand up to the might of the CranKy Ducklings. Oh boy. Here we go. The grand finals, los grand finales of SuperExtra Latino America 2v2, our very first edition of this tournament. And here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the returning pro player, the teacher, the senpai himself, the Chilean Protoss. It is Sagan, alongside his teammate, the blue Terran player, the American. Let us know where he's from. It is Spaghetti, and together they are Team License to Kill. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Heavy Artillery ALE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player himself. What does he stand for? Endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. We have Eric, alongside his other Duckling teammate, the Peruvian Zerg player living in Italy. It is the Teal Zerg, it is Ryu, and together they are the CranKy Ducklings. Let's go. I love it. We had a 2v2 team for Team Super. We've had one for Amantes and StarCraft. Had one for License to Kill. And of course, the CranKy Ducklings. Let's go. And we'll see how we go here. So far, nothing too major. We see Hatch Gas Pool from both of our Zerg players, as we would expect, and we'll see if they stick to their strategy. If you remember, if you were here for the previous semifinals, Eric, he was the one going for just Spire and just going for Mass Corruptor Ling into Mutas whenever he saw fit, and we saw Ryu going for Roach, Hydra, Lurker, Viper. Roach, Hydra into Hydra, Lurker, Viper, essentially. Into Niduses. Basically, Ryu playing his favorite composition. He is known as the Lurker King for a reason. So I imagine they're going to be going for a similar strategy, but we'll see, because it also kind of depends on what License to Kill is going to do. We've seen time and time again Protoss players embrace Skytoss and take to the skies and go into their Stargates. But is that a little bit too obvious? Is that a little bit too predictable? Do they have something else in store for us, is what I wonder. Because again, I am shocked that Sagan and Spaghetti have achieved the success that they have. I was talking about this before, but for the people who are tuning in now, they are not pro players. They are not like at the 1v1 caliber of the level of the people they've been beating, of players like Master, Yanji, the Zerg Lord, Eric, Ryu, Paco Mike Davo. Like, when it comes to 1v1, License to Kill, this team is a little bit weaker. But in 2v2s, they're clearly stronger. Like, they have found so much success so far, which is crazy. And I was thinking, how? What have they been doing different compared to everyone else? And we can see here Sagan is going for those double Stargates. So very similar to Master in the previous series, knowing that he can be greedy enough to do this. He can avoid his first gateway units because it's 2v2. The Terran player can help support him, so he can afford to cut corners and go into this. Meanwhile, we do have an Overlord Scout. Ryu does confirm the double Stargate. Void Ray, not a little bit of both. Oh god, there we go. Void Ray, not Phoenix. Interesting choice here. Oh. Meanwhile, we do see the Terran player Spaghetti trying to dip in wherever he can. Does take out a creep tumor, not bad, but hasn't been able to deal too much economic damage so far, as he is going for Banshees. But this is scouted. Ryu with his Overlord. Again, Ryu is known for his scouting. He doesn't just confirm the double Stargate, he also confirms the 1-1-1 into Banshee, confirming the cloak as it was researching. But oh, I love this from Spaghetti. He gets scouted, so he cancels the cloak. He knows that, hey, Eric and Ryu, they're too good. They're going to respond. They're going to get spores up and running. So the likelihood of Cloak Banshees doing damage isn't that high. So he pivots away and goes straight into a third CC. Oh my god. So I thought that maybe Sagan and Spaghetti found a lot of success doing cheese, like going for like early aggression, going for proxies. But no, they're doubling down on the macro instead. I love it. I'm impressed. Meanwhile, Hellions are going to be able, well, they're going to look to find a way in, but there's a wall of queens waiting for them. They do not get into the mineral line. They do not get past the queen bounces. At the same time, Void Rays are going to slip into the main base of Ryu. Ryu, is he going to be able to defend? Well, Eric's queens are here to help back him up. So Ryu's queens defend the front door. Eric's queens defend the back door. There's queens everywhere. And again, Eric did go for a for a Spire opening, and he's going straight into Mutas, which makes sense because, mate, you don't really want Corruptors against Void Rays. Mutas may not be the best answer to Void Rays, but they are a answer to Void Rays. At the same time, Banshee slips in, does get a drone kill, gets 2 drone kills actually, but slips away just in time. We'll be able to dip in later on. Void Ray still continuing to harass. Ryu being punished for not throwing down any spores here. Like, being a little bit too overconfident with his queens does get punished for it. At the same time, Hellions, oh god, they almost find their way in again. Both players continuing to test the waters, but you know what? Eric has been unleashed on the map. The Mutas are going across the map, and what do we have at home to defend? We have nothing to defend the natural base of Sagan, but the Void Rays are not too far away, so they will be able to push this away. Eventually. Nothing shoots up for the Terran though. Yeah, we have a Mrs. Heart on the way, but SCVs are falling nonetheless. And after all is said and done, looking at the unit cells, oh my god, there's a Mutas around. 10 probes go down and 4 SCVs. 14 workers as opposed to the 16 that Ryu has lost. My god, that's a lot of workers. Ryu, please. Ryu is the one that's been bullied this game. So in the end, both teams end up losing around the same amount of workers. Of course, this does impact Ryu the most of all because he's the only one out of the CranKy Duckling players that's been losing drones, but he's also been able to replace that by just mass droning up and mass queening up as well. So he hasn't been punished too much as he goes straight for an infestation pit. Interesting. So unlike the previous games, Ryu didn't go for roaches early on. He went straight for a Hydra Den. So he's just going, I think, just straight into Hydra Lurker Viper. Oh my god. So cutting his own corners as Eric is supplementing his Mutas with Corruptors as well. It makes sense because Phoenix production did commence. Again, Eric's still committed to the Sky Zerg. Looking to dip back in. This time though, Missile Turrets are ready, so Eric, he's actually going to fight the Missile Turret. He will be able to take it down. Oh my god, not even. Mrs. Turret survives, and Spaghetti holds on. So far, these Mutas haven't really paid for themselves as a pretty big investment early on. Thankfully, we do see that Eric is hard switching into Mass Corruptor, recognizing the value in Corruptors over those Mutas. And both Spaghetti and Sagan are able to expand and get their third bases up and running. No gold bases, unfortunately, for either player. Feels bad, man. There are gold bases on this map, and you know, at some point I'm sure they will be taken. But for the time being, just our regular bases are being taken from our Zergs, Terrans, and Protoss. And I love this from Sagan. So this was my biggest criticism of Paku Mike in the semifinals. If you remember, Paku Mike went Mass Phoenix into Carrier. Oh no, it's the Mutas, no! Oh, the Mutas get cleaned up. But Paku Mike went Phoenix into Carrier. Notice something that I said there and something that I didn't say, is that I didn't say anything about a ground army to support him, High Templar or Archons. He just went pure Sky Toss. And it's honestly what killed him. Like, he never had anything to support his army when Corruptors rocked up. But Sagan is making up for that. Like, he does have a Twilight Council. He has a Templar Archives as well. Storm is on the way. So he will have Storm, and he will have Archons to help him out as well. He's just going to have a better army. Oh. And unlike Paku Mike, he didn't go Mass Phoenix. He's also going for Void Rays as well. So it's kind of harder to counter here. Eric is having a hard time to counter it, I should say. Like, Void Rays are king against Corruptors. Meanwhile, Eric is doubling down on the Corruptors. I'm sure he's going to be going into Vipers as well. Still doesn't have a Hive, unfortunately, so that is what he's lacking. I don't think he even has an Infestation Pit, so, Eric, gonna be falling behind a little bit here. And having a little bit less usefulness with these Broodlords, or Corruptors for the time being. Meanwhile, Ryu, Hydra Lurker Viper. Vipers are coming out. 5 Vipers at a time. Adaptive Talents is on the way. So Ryu is getting into his late game ideal perfect army. Eric is still on the way though. He still hasn't been able to find too much damage with these corruptors, whether it's Phoenixes or whether it's the production. He's been trying to slip his way in, but every single time he's tried, the Void Rays have been able to meet him. This time, the Void Rays are a little bit out of position over on the left-hand side of the map, so if the Corruptors got into the Terran main base, they could probably deal some damage, but they don't risk it. They rotate around instead towards the Void Rays. And I love this as well. Look at this. We have missile turrets, we have cannons, like Terran and Protosses are uniting here, and oh god, it's something you don't see often enough. Oh no, the Phoenixes! Oh, as all the Phoenixes do get caught out. To be fair though, we didn't need Phoenixes, right? Like, they already killed all the Mutas. You don't need them against Corruptors. Void Rays are the name of the game. Meanwhile, Corruptors are about to rock up and uh-oh, the CC. Up! It may go down. We do have Caustic Spray available, and it looks like the Caustic Spray may be just in time. No, it is not. Oh, land, puppy, land! Ah! Void Rays, where were you? Do we have Void Ray speed? We do. We do have Flux Veins. Okay. So Eric finding some damage, but not too much, to be honest. Like, unlike the previous games, he hasn't been able to find any bases, any next site, any CCs, any production buildings. Like, Corruptors have just been shocking around. And what I will say is that at least they have been keeping Sagan at home. Like, the Void Rays haven't been able to move out. They haven't been able to really deal too much damage or deny any bases. So because of that, we are now in a split map scenario. Like, half the map is covered in creep. It is Zerg. And because of that, Hive is on the way. Vipers are going to be on the way as well for both players. Oh, and the Niduses are done as well. Ah, the storm, the storm, puppy. Don't like this. Oh my god, even a couple of snipes going down as well. So many Corruptors falling. Ryu is maxed, but Ryu can't do too much here, to be honest. But you know what? That's because he's not there. He moves on forward on the front line, but he runs into a wall of Terran. Oh, the Zerg players, they cannot break the defenses of Team LTK. They're gonna try though. Again, I feel like Eric just isn't finding the value that he needs to find here. We do have a couple of lurkers harassing towards the top left. We do see the Void Rays try to push up forward. Oh, we see they get yoinked instead and parasitic bombed. Finally. The Zerg, they're kind of pulling apart their opponents a little bit, as we even see a couple of lurkers going up in the main base. Oh, Spaghetti, get out of here. Lurkers do get behind into that pocket base. They do get borrowed, and they will be dealing some damage. The response is not here, though. Okay, the ghosts do come back. Lurkers are going to try and escape through the Nidus. The carrier's going to stop them. Oh god, is the Nidus going to finish? Is it going to finish? Forces a recall. Interesting. I don't know if the recall was necessary, to be honest. That may have been a mistake. Question mark? The recall does mean that the Hydra Lurker army gets a bit of a better foothold here. Decent feedbacks. Very good feedbacks, actually. Sagan? Like, Sagan doesn't have to be here. He's being distracted by a single lurker, and I understand the value in denying these Niduses, but he needs to be here on the front line. No, the ghost! Oh, a little bit of miscontrol there. Again, Sagan kind of leaving his partner hanging here. Puppy, Terran can't 1v2. Here we go. Sagan finally does come over. Oh, but now the Brood Lords have arrived. Thankfully, Sagan isn't too far behind. He does get intercepted a little bit here by these Corruptors. Oh my god. And the carriers are going to be able to actually take a pretty good fight here. We needed some parasitic bombs. Let's go. But the Void Rays are going to be able to help protect these carriers in the end. The Corruptors don't really find too much damage, but at the same time, the Hydra Lurker did. God, Eric threw away so much supply there. There was some questionable moves done by Eric. Hopefully he can afford. He's gas starved right now. Like, Ryu, give him some gas, puppy. Give him some gas. He needs it. Eric wants to be a part of the fight as well. Oh, God. As we do see Sagan is finally on the front line. He's going to be trying to force his way forward. And honestly, he does take out a lot of these corruptors. Sorry, a lot of these lurkers. A lot of the spores as well. Oh, there's just too much here for the Zerg team to handle. And this may just be it. Like, the Terran Protoss Death Ball may just be too ideal. We have Storm, we have Snipes, we have Carriers. Yeah. And both Zerg armies get forced all the way back. Again, Eric was just throwing away far too much earlier. He lost all his Broodlords as well. And this may just be the game-ending push. Oh, God. Vipers once again zoning out the Lurkers. Zoning out the Vipers even. We see a couple of yoinks here and we're dropping frames. We're dropping a lot of frames. Oh, God. But there's just too much Protoss, too much Terran. Oh, the Corruptor Hydra, though, they're going to be able to push this back. The Interceptor count actually just dipped. Mate. I thought they were going to be able to force their way through, especially without Lurkers, but it didn't even matter. The Corruptors are actually paying for themselves. Eric can do something this game. Ah! Oh, my God. Something that I noticed, we didn't actually see any storms. Like, the feedbacks were on point on the Vipers, but these Lurkers were slowly dealing a lot of damage. Like 6, 7, 8, 4 kills on every single one of these Lurkers. Like, they were actually the MVPs taking out the Ghosts, as well as the High Templar. And now, suddenly, the Zerg has weathered the storm. That's the thing. It takes a long time for armies like this, especially Protoss armies, to rebuild. Questionable yoink. Did EMP those Vipers in the end, but you know what? Eric and Ryu, they are not stopping. They take out one Nexus. They're going straight for the planetary as well. At the same time, we do see a nuke here, but it gets spotted by Eric, and he will be able to deny the nuke. Ghost goes down to the drones. Planetary goes down across the map as well. Spaghetti and Sagan are being pulled apart right now. They just don't have an army. They need more time to rebuild. And in the process, 2 bases went down at the same time. Both gold bases have been taken by the CranKy Ducklings. They just have a better economy. They just have more resources coming in. And for the first time this game, Eric, he is maxed out. He's getting maxed out. A maxed out Eric, a maxed out Kangaroo. You never want to see that. Ah. And I love how, you know, like, he was being a little bit stubborn earlier on, going with just Mass Corruptor Broodlord, but now here we go. Ling Bane is coming in. Oh. I like to think that Ryu gave him some resources. He probably didn't, but I'd like to think he did. Oh, God, as we see a bit of a Hellion run by here towards the bottom left. This is Mass Spore Spine, and it will not finish up, so, oh, this gold base will not get up and running. Honestly, a pretty important move here by Spaghetti. Like, he cannot let them get away with the gold. Not a second gold. That's just far too much. Oh, we even have Sagan helping him out as well, sending a Zealot run by. Lings will not be enough to clean this up. The Banes will, though. Ah! Puppy? Mate, just roll in. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Eric, I guess, deciding to give up on his base. Feels bad, man. Does turn around. And now we're back where we started, except this time our Terran player doesn't have as much supply. Does have Mass Ghost, and there is a lot of potential with Mass Ghost, but is that really going to be enough here? Oh, God, as the yoinks are going down one after the other on all these carriers. Focus fire, not quite there, as there's kind of a lot on the screen. Meanwhile, it looks like the Hydras are going to be helping out Eric. Eric's like, mate, I need the gold base. I don't know why I pulled back my banelings, but I did. So Ryu will help him out. Meanwhile, these lurkers were left a little bit exposed here as a result. Yeah, Ryu recognizes that. He's like, okay, gotta back up. Base is being retaken towards the top left. It does feel like Sagan and Spaghetti, for the most part, they are stabilizing. They do have the high ground here. Like, any kind of engagement here in the middle of the map is going to go Spaghetti and Sagan's way. I just worry for the rotation, and that's exactly what's happening. Go, go. No, the carriers are alone. Where they're alone. Not like this. Ah. Oh, we need some storms, Puppy. We need some storms. 3, 4 carriers go down. Storms a little bit late. Oh, the ghosts. Oh, God. Wait, Spaghetti, you need to calm down. You need to calm yourself. EMP barely. Both EMPs out of range. Broodlords coming for me. I don't know what the hell these Broodlords are doing, by the way. They're just gonna die. Eric, not like this. Ah. To take out a Nexus in the process. Lurkers do rotate around to meet the army as well. Again, every single time Eric leaves, I get so scared for Ryu. Every single time. Another massive EMP on all these Vipers. Eric, he's always lurking in the background. He's always lurking, waiting for his moment to strike. Oh, he's coming in. He sees an opportunity. He wants it. God, I hope their PCs can handle this. That's the biggest, one of the biggest problems with team games is that you get a lot of effects and a lot of like units on the screen at once. And I know that like for 4v4s especially, like there are some players that just, I know Neo, for example, he cannot play 4v4s. It just can't happen. Just destroys his PC. Looks like Spaghetti and Sagan, they're going to be focusing once again their efforts on this gold base. It looks like they will be able to take this, but now they're kind of in a really weird angle. I don't like that they move their entire army here, but I guess because they're together, they're safest, right? Apes together strong. But this does leave this center base vulnerable. Oh, a couple more yoinks. Decent feedbacks on those Vipers once again, but the gold base will go down, and I feel like this kind of forces Spaghetti and Sagan all in a way. Snipes are going to be able to take out the majority, if not all, of these lurkers. Again, Eric did kind of leave Ryu to his own devices. But he took out 2 bases in the process. So again, like, it's kind of worth it. Do these bases matter as much to Eric and Ryu? No, they're maxed out. Like, whereas Sagan and Spaghetti, they've been struggling a little bit more. Oh, but you know what? They're not done. Team LTK, they took down 2 hatcheries, and they're going to take out a 3rd. Meanwhile, here we go. The Zerg armies, they're converging. Terran can't recall out of here, by the way. just saying. Oh, boy. Oh, God, the frames are dropping. The frames are dropping. No, the ghosts are getting caught up by the link bait. All the ghosts go down. Meanwhile, the storms are here to help support the tank army, but it's not going to be enough. Oh my God, the Thors are actually doing a lot of damage to said corruptors and mate. I think every single corruptor is about to fall. Oh no, Eric throws away his entire army. He tried to magic box on some of the carriers, but the Thors were too much. Is that enough? Do they have enough to stop Ryu? Honestly, they may just have enough. Oh God, the lurkers are not in position to help protect another base. The Thors went to town on those corruptors. And once again, Eric and Ryu, they cannot protect these hatcheries. Questionable move there by Eric. He's always so eager. I've noticed. No, he abandons the Terran. No, Sagan. Not like this. Spaghetti's all on his own. He's gonna lose the Thors. Oh my God. Get the hell out of here, Spaghetti. You need to leave. No, he gets surrounded. Sagan left you alone. Oh my God. The turrets have tabled. Sagan was a duckling the entire time. No, it's fair. It's fair. Like, I think they both recognize that they probably couldn't escape, and they didn't want to lose both armies, right? Like, it was a difficult call to make, but it had to be made for the greater good, for the greater cause of License to Kill. So both Eric and Spaghetti are kind of knocked down to the Stone Age. I say kind of. Spaghetti still has a base up and running in a way, and Eric doesn't. Like, Eric is so starved. He just can't afford anything. He needs these bases desperately. Ryu, give him some money. Ryu's broke as well. Everyone's broke. Everyone's running out of money. And I think Sagan may come out on top because of the recall. Like, he still has a pretty terrifying army. Uh-oh. Here we go. He's coming in. Decent snipes on one of the Vipers. Eric, the only supportive units that Eric has here are the Queens. Like, Eric's like, I can help. Pushing into tanks. No, not like this. Too many Hydras just went down. This may just be over. Like, honestly, Sagan may just be able to roll over both Zerg players right now. Unless they can get these bases up and running. No, Sagan is hesitant. He's not pulling the trigger. He's not going for it. The bases are getting up. Uh-oh. Wow, how do they do it? Eric and Ryu, once again, they're barely holding on. Oh god, but finally Sagan is on the offensive. Sagan and what little ghosts there are. 4 ghosts in total. With the lives, with the feedbacks, there's no way. Yeah, Zerg, we gotta give this base up. It's not happening, it's not happening. We have a couple parasitic bombs. I just don't know if there's just not enough anti-air. Decent trades here, but there's just very few Hydras, very few Queens as well. They're trying. They're gonna force this back. GG gets called though. Sagan and Spaghetti, Team LTK, they take game number 1. But that was so back and forth. That was wild. I thought they had won earlier, if you remember, when Eric threw away his army for the first time. There were 2 instances. Oh, can we see the graphs? I gotta call him out. I gotta do it. You can see here. You can see the purple. The purple is Eric. You can see the 2 moments where he just plummets in supply both times. Where he just threw away all his corruptors, like shaking my head. Yeah. You can see Ryu is pretty steady. You can see Ryu like he's just a constant line, but Eric, questionable engagements, mate. Ryu was the one that's tired. It's 5 a.m. where Ryu is. Ryu has an excuse if he makes a mistake. Eric though, mate, he just keeps yellowing in. Shaking my head, shaking my head. As we are getting ready for game number 2. I believe this is a best of 5 grand finals, by the way. I'm gonna have to confirm this with the admin later on. We'll find out if it's a best of 5 or best of 3. I do know that on Challenge it says best of 5, but I know that Ryu probably requested a best of 3 instead. Oh my god, we are only game 1. That was game 1, people. That was game 1. And here we go as we dive into game number 2 of this best of 5 grand finals. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Emerald City LE, we have the Chilean Protoss player. He is red on the left, and representing alongside him we have his partner, we have his teammate, we have the blue Terran player Spaghetti, and together they are licensed to kill. Oh, I didn't know. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you so much, Maximus in the chat. Spaghetti is Binsky. Oh, it's all coming together. It makes sense. Why didn't you say so earlier? I apologize, I wasn't looking at chat. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Emerald City LE, we have the Zerg team. We have the Peruvian Teal Zerg here in the top left. Alongside it, we have the Brazilian Zerg. Together, Eric and Ryu, they are the CranKy Ducklings. I apologize, I was a little bit focused. I was a little bit too preoccupied with the game, with the cast. But we have found out Spaghetti is Binsky. Why is he Spaghetti on challenge? God damn it. But Binsky makes a lot more sense. For those wondering, Binsky, he is an American pro player. I say pro. He hasn't found too much success in things like EPT and things like DreamHack, but he is a ladder hero. Like many of the LTK players, Binsky, Rocker, they kind of dominate the NA ladder in their own way. And yeah, suddenly I have a lot more respect for this team. Suddenly, I've been looking at Sagan being the carry. Now Binsky is the carry in my mind. They're around the same skill level, I imagine. But yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool that Binsky is here. Supporting his LTK brethren. I'm actually going to change that in the overlays, actually. Binsky. There we go. There we go. Ah. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Subtle team name. Go Team Taco. Kuro, please. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. As we are kind of getting underway here, and again, like game one was so back and forth. It was so explosive. I was pretty happy with it. I was a little bit worried sometimes, like you can see one team dominate the other, or like one player fall behind, and then it becomes a little bit one-sided. We saw that a lot with Paco Mike and Tavo, where just Paco Mike just kept getting bullied out of the game. And it almost happened this game. And you could argue that Eric was, again, making some questionable moves. As we see a double Stargate opener once again. But it was really cool to see Sagan and Binsky cover themselves so well. We saw that time and time again, Ryu would like come in with Niduses, or the Corruptors would come in, and then the Hydras would hit towards the north, and they would come in towards the south. And so often, like, Eric and Ryu tried to go for this like multi-prong attack. And usually that would work against their opponents, but Sagan and Binsky, like, again, like their defenses were so good early on. It allowed them to get into the mid game and the late game in a pretty good position, a better position that Tavo and Paco Mike ever dreamed of, to be honest. In general, I do think that comes a lot down to Sagan. Like, I'm very impressed with the way that he was able to really round out his army. Like, you know, incorporating Void Rays, incorporating High Templar, Storm, Archons. Like, it was really great to see. Especially compared to some of the other Protoss players we've seen today. Oh, God. Likewise, Binsky was also doing well with his Ghosts and his Thors. I mean, let's be real. The Thors, they did end up winning that big engagement earlier. Couldn't have happened. Couldn't have happened without Binsky. As he gets a little bit over eager and dives in with his Hellions, will end up losing them all here at the natural of Eric. A bit of a feels bad, man. Because that they do end up relinquishing that map control for the time being. And we can see once again, they're taking the same roles. And I'm sure Binsky and Sagan are familiar with this. Eric is going for the Spire play. Meanwhile, Ryu is going for the Hydras, as +1 range is already on the way for Ryu. Again, Hydra Lurker Viper for one, Corruptor Broodlord Viper for the other, if they can get there, And again, I appreciate this. Going up against Double Zerg, they don't go for Phoenixes, but they go for Void Rays instead. I do think it's a great way to preemptively be ready for the Corruptors. We saw that last game, even though Eric saw that Void Rays were coming out, he tried to go for Mutas first to begin with, and the Mutas did nothing. Let's be honest. The Mutas got like 4 worker kills, if that. They didn't even get a missile turret. Like, the Mutas just didn't really pay for themselves. So, like, Eric was putting himself behind in a way to begin with at the start of the previous game. So we'll see if he tries to make Mutas work again, or if he kind of commits to the Corruptors. And there we have it. 8 Corruptors are coming out. Oof. Not wasting any gas on the Mutas. And I think that's fair, especially because, like, if the game goes on longer again, like, the way that you spend your gas is so important. Spending like 600 gas early on Mutas, like, you gotta you can't afford that later on. You know, you want to be thinking about the future, not so much about the present. As both Zerg players are just mass expanding at this point. Third base already on the way. At the same time, Hellions actually get into the main base. Oh my god! Guys, how did this happen? The first run by not really paying for itself. This one definitely paying for itself as it gets into the main base of Eric. 16, 17 drones going down. Oh my god. Let Eric play. Ay, ay, ay. This time, very nice Hellion run by Binsky. And he's going for it again. He's going for another drop. Oh, and he avoids the Corruptors. He's not stopping. Meanwhile, the Corruptors, they try to find some damage, but they only find a single Viking. Ay. Once again, Eric not really finding too much. And that drop is on the way. Uh-oh. I'm really a little bit concerned, especially because we don't have any Overlords here to help cover the bases of Eric. I mean, he does have a gold base, and that will help him recover from all these losses, especially if he focuses on saturating it first. But the drop is sneaking into that main. Oof. Meanwhile, the Void Ray count getting ever so higher. Nidus is on the way for Ryu, so it looks like he wants to maybe try to find a way into the main base. And he may be able to do so, but here we go, another drop into the main! No, not again! Literally every single drone. Oh, feels bad, man. Binsky carrying the team right now. 37 drones have fallen. 37. Eric does immediately saturate his gold base, but that's a lot of worker kills. Eric, he cannot get up and running anytime soon. He's going to need a lot of time. He still has these Corruptors as they try to hunt down the drop, but they don't find it. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Eric has to try and find some damage. He does caustic spray down this CC, but the repair is good enough. The response is good enough. Again, the Corruptors just haven't found any damage at all. Oh, so we're a couple of drones just chilling. And again, I really worry for Eric. Like, he is re-droning, don't get me wrong, but like any kind of tech is just taking that much longer to really get in. Oh, I love it. They ping each other. Ryu sees, Ryu points it out. And there we go. Eric does take down the drop. Eric rotating around. Looks like he's going to try and hit the gold base. At the same time, we have some changelings here for the Nidus. Going into Infestors this game. Interesting. A very interesting change of pace here for Ryu. We'll see how much the Infestors do. I mean, Microbial Shroud will be king against these Void Rays. Same with Fungals. Like, both of them, to be honest. Here we go. They're coming in together. They're hitting the gold base. Yo, and Binsky's out of position. 2v1. We do see a Fungal on those Void Rays. It looks like this Nexus is going to go down. Binsky is going to be able to get here eventually, but a little bit too late. It looks like Sagan and Binsky have recognized we cannot defend this gold base. They leave the Nexus alive. Okay, there we go. And now we see a Nidus into the main. Ooh, one Stargate does go down. No, you don't want to fight here. No. Hydras do come out, but a little bit too late. It looks like, oh, the Hydras actually do force away the Void Rays for the time being. It looks like they will actually establish a position here. And without, oh my god, without the Void Ray ability, without, oh god. I almost said Microbial Shroud. Look, it's early in the morning here. It's early in the morning. We do see the Queens coming out. We should see a couple of Infestors shortly as well. Prismatic Alignment, that's it. Without Prismatic Alignment, Corruptors can actually come into play. Oh my god. For the first time this series, Ryu finally gets a Nidus up and running. And now they've taken over the main base. Not just the main of Sagan, but also the production. Only a single Stargate remaining here. Tanks are going to be able to force all this back, and it looks like Ryu is going to evacuate. Oh god. We'll lose a couple of Hydras in the retreat. But that's fine, because you know what? The Niduses, they just don't stop. They just don't stop coming. We're on 2k atmospheres. Oh god, the Nexus, it looks like it's going to be able to escape. Corruptor's going to try and chase it down. Honestly, this Nidus rotation didn't really do too much. Oh god, but the Void Rays, no, not on their own. Two Void Rays get sniped. Again, Ryu and Eric, they're not going to find too much damage here, but what's important is that they have established map control. And behind this, Eric, he was able to replenish all the workers that he lost earlier. He's finally getting a decent army up and running. Hive is on the way, double Evo Chamber as well, to maybe switch into Lings. And now it's Sagan who's kind of had a really hard time here. He has rebuilt 2 Stargates at the natural base, so he's not out of this yet. But no, the Nexus! The gold! Ryu, he's just always there. God, as both Zerg armies meet up once again, we do see the switch into ground from Eric. I love it. Again, like, we have very limited uses for these corruptors. Obviously, Broodlords are going to be amazing, but until then, like, they don't really help against the Terran. And I feel like Ryu recognizes that. He's like, mate, help me out. Okay, I got you. And Eric, he goes for his signature move. He goes for the Caustic Spray into the main base, catches more Void Rays. All right, he's gonna get out of here. Oh god! Oh, you don't want to fight this. Not with the prismatic alignment. Okay. Not with the overcharge. Speaking of, we do see the Hydras finding a little bit more damage here. Interesting that we don't have any lurkers from Ryu. He avoided that completely, just going pure Hydra lurker. Infestor, I guess. A very different approach. And honestly, it's working so far. More infestors are on the way. But Binsky has established himself here towards the center of the map. We have a planetary, we have missile turrets, we have tanks. Like, he is solid as a rock. It's just Sagan that needs a little bit more help catching up. And that's why Binsky is here to help him establish a base. This base is so crucial for Sagan. We'll see if he can get it up and running. Meanwhile, Eric and Ryu actually don't know about this. The Overlord was taken out, but it looks like this base is going to get up and running. Like, they just aren't in position to deny it. Meanwhile, Broodlords are finally coming into play. So Eric is going to be able to support and help out a little bit more. Oh, God. As Ryu has just taken every single base on the left-hand side. Jesus Christ. The Wall of Spores is coming. And again, they still haven't noticed the space here towards the top right. So Sagan and Binsky getting away with murder here. Moida. Oh god, Broodlords do reveal themselves. Also reveal their own position. Oh, ghosts are coming in. Oh. You see a couple of snipes here on the Hydras. Not the most efficient snipes, but you know, snipes nonetheless. I'm sure ideally he does want to get a bit of an EMP on those infestors. Oh god, Broodlords, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. The ghosts, they want them. They want them. And we may see the Zerg army just rotate here towards the center of the bases instead. Like, pushing up a ramp is almost impossible. They're just trying to find an angle, refining their army even more, getting more Vipers up and running, getting their upgrades. +3. Interesting that Ryu has started melee upgrades as well. I wasn't really expecting that. Oh, as the snipe does get a Broodlord, but the rest of the Broodlords will be able to edge ever closer and take out one of those tanks. 2 of the tanks even. The siege has commenced. I really don't think this is the best angle to like push in, but I imagine they're probably just hoping to pull their armies out of position. Oh, even get a couple of Thors. The yoinks. And something that I didn't even notice. Oh, we have a Nidus in the main. Oh my god. It looks like the front position is going to be abandoned a little bit. Okay, Infestors are going to help out the Broodlords. Broodlord Infestor, let's go. And all the Hydras, they sneak into the main base once again. Once again, the production of Sagan is going to be going down. It does get depowered. And it forces Sagan to respond. Ay, ay, ay. Thankfully, it's just pure Hydra. There are no infestors, so the Void Rays are going to have an easier time cleaning them up. Oh, Hydra's actually being thrown away here. I don't know if that's the best move. Meanwhile, all the Broodlords are being cleaned up by said snipes. The fungals from these infestors were a little bit too late. Ryu, he was distracted by his own Nidus, so he wasn't really here to help support Eric. Oh, feels bad, man. As now their attention is being focused here towards the top right. They finally realize, uh oh, they've been expanding this entire time. Uh-oh. CranKy Ducklings weren't in the position they thought they were in. Oh, the infestors, they're sneaking on forward. There's no detection. Uh-oh. The fungals. Oh no, they get spotted with the scares. The EMPs, no. The infestors, they do nothing. Oh my god. Ah, they were so close. I could see them as fungal, but it just wasn't meant to be. No, the infestors are all going down. Yeah, this is actually a pretty big deal, to be honest. Binsky shutting down so many of the spellcasters of the Zerg. At the same time, double Nidus into the main base. The Protoss is responding. The Protoss recalls. And there's only 3 Hydras here. We'll see as the Hydras are flooding in. Storm is here to meet him, though. The Hydras are going to get cleaned up. And, mate, Team LTK get another base. Mate. Oh, God. Meanwhile, Eric once again trying to find some damage. It looks like he will get a Nexus this time. Tempests are going to try and respond, but it looks like the Nexus is going to go down first. Uh-oh. Actually, he gives up on the Nexus. Nexus survives, and the Storm keeps the Tempest alive. Eric and Ryu, they're just like smashing their face into brick walls right now. They just can't break any position, despite the Niduses. Oh god, and the mech army. So what's important is that Sagan and Binsky are split up right now, because Sagan, he just keeps having to defend the main base, so I don't blame him for being here towards the south. But it does mean that, like, again, Eric and Ryu can take advantage of this, and they can like pounce on one of these armies that's on their own. Are they going for it? Ugh. Storm though does force all these back, even some feedbacks on the Vipers. Eric had to be here. Again, it's like apart they are weaker, but at the same time, like Eric and Ryu are having a really hard time dealing with either army. Like Mech and Skytos, they're pretty good. And I think it may just already be over. I feel like there's going to be a moment here where Eric and Ryu, they may be able to take out one army, but then in comes the other. Oh god, the Archons. Yeah, Binsky's pushing in even closer. Like, this is the thing, like Mech and Skytos, like they're basically, it's basically 4v2 right now. Yeah. And this is this is why like Zerg is considered weaker in 2v2s. Like their armies just don't really compete against this. Again, really, I feel like they're going to focus a lot more on either one of these armies getting out of position. And Eric and Ryu have to work together. They have to work together to beat this. They cannot 1v1. Ugh. Get one Thor. Sure. It looks like they're both deciding to maybe focus on the Protoss. And maybe they can. As Binsky is just getting another base up and running. The goal base is slowly on the way as well. Eric and Ryu are out of bases. Oh, by Templar. The Archons try to focus him down. And it looks like with the help of the Fungals, with all these spellcasters, it looks like the Skytos army is falling. At the same time, Binsky recognizes what's happening. He's on the way. He's coming. The ghosts come in. Oh, and they EMP every single Viper and Infestor. Oh my god. This is not looking good. It's not looking good for the Zerg. Yeah, this is like once Team LTK unites together, like I think they are going to be unstoppable, actually. Like, and that's exactly what's happening. I think earlier there was a chance, there was an opportunity for them to get picked off one by one, but now that they've converged here in the middle of the map, unless the Zerg players get up like spore crawlers, like a spore forest to help support them, and they also get maxed out, like oh boy, they're both kind of torn. Right, they're going back to trying to like pull their opponents apart. It looks like they're going to go for maybe a Nidus into the main base. Oh boy. they're trying. Okay, Eric looking to maybe get into, maybe try and deal with the Skytos. Ryu as well, but the ghosts have something to say about that. The snipes come in. And the thing is that, like, I'm sure Eric and Ryu, like, the best moment for the Zerg player is if either Protoss or Terran move out. Like, they have to wait for either one of these armies to push into creep. The problem is that they're not. They're just kind of edging around the edge of the map. And they're together as well. Oh boy. We do see they're going to be able to trade base for base here, but the problem is that Eric, he can take out the planetary and that's it. Whereas LTK, they can just keep going from here. Like, they take out one base, they can get another, they can just leapfrog forward. Not saying that Eric sniping this planetary is insignificant, but it's just nowhere near as impactful. Oh boy. So it looks like License to Kill are going to be able to get another base up and running. Ah. And we'll see how this all goes down. It's going to come down to these Vipers, I feel, whether it's like Mass Blinding Cloud, which is going to happen. We have one, we have a couple. Yo, where are the Ghosts for EMP? The Ghosts were a little bit out of position, but they come in, so do the High Templar. Oof. Oh god, we're waiting for those EMPs and we see them! Again, hitting half of those Infestors. Yo, and it's just A move time. Let's go time. They're gonna dive on forward. The Bailings are rolling on in as well. We do see some neural parasites on those Thors. And with the power of the Thors, the Hydras, is it going to be enough? The answer is no. Broodlords even being force back. The Ghost count was just far too large here. And that Ling Bane had to connect here with the Ghosts. Unfortunately, a lot of them did detonate on those Thors and the tanks. And just like that, Binsky and Sagan, they secure this base towards the south. And Eric is broke. Eric doesn't have the golds. He doesn't have any money left. Actually, zero money. So what we see is what we get for Eric. Ryu does have a bank, so he can of course share his money, but he's not maxed out either. Like, he's oh god. Oh, I even see some blanket EMPs on those Infestors. Here we go. Mass Ghost is all that Binsky really needs. And the Storms! Ah. Is it the final fight? We do see both armies trying to dive on the Sky Toss as best they can, but we see the Mass Knights, we see the Storms. GG gets called. And License to Kill is going to take a 2-0 lead in this series. Eric wants to fight out a little bit longer, but GG. Ah. Sagan and Binsky take another game. There was a moment there. We see that this happened in the semifinals as well. We saw that Eric and Ryu, their plan is to try and shut down the Protoss, and they were doing so, right? We saw them get into the main base multiple times. We saw them take down the Stargates multiple times. But I think a crucial, and I feel like the Zerg, CranKy Ducklings, they were looking really good for a lot of that game until we saw the expansion towards the top right taken. Not the top right corner, but just like close to the top right corner. We saw that they didn't have eyes on that, and it was so important for Sagan to get another base up and running. We saw that he was starving out. He was stuck on 3 bases. His goal base kept getting denied time and time again, but he was able to sneak out another Nexus, and Eric and Ryu had no idea. They didn't have any vision there, and because of that, they weren't able to apply any pressure in that location, and Sagan was able to get a 4th. And from that moment on, then he was able to stabilize. Binsky was able to max out. Like, oof. They just got out of control. Out of control. GG. Well played. Well played. So I have to confirm. Really like spaghetti, dude. Oh boy. Butter and noodles. Now I'm getting hungry. I haven't had breakfast yet. I had some cereal last night, I guess. Did have some cereal. Ugh. But again, it looks like our players are just deciding on map 3. So again, this is a best of 5, and this could be a 3-0 in the finals, mate. It's possible. To be fair, there were some moments of dominance there by Eric and Ryu. There were moments there where they were like on top of these bases and taking great fights and getting into the main. But again, it just didn't work out for them. They allowed a couple of bases to sneak out, and now game 3, potentially the final game of the series. Oh boy. I feel like Ryu and Eric have to go back to the drawing board a little bit on how they want to approach this and how they want to execute this as well. We saw Ryu adapt going into, instead of Hydra Lurker Viper, he went into Hydra Infestor Viper instead. And I think it makes sense. Like, spellcasters are great, but oh god, I don't know. We never really got to see the Infestors shine. Every single time, like, the Mass Infestor was coming in, like, they would just get EMP'd. Like, let's be honest. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. We're getting into game numero 3. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Fields of Death LE, we have our Chilean and Protoss player, Sagan, alongside his teammates, the American Terran in Binsky. We have, in the bottom left, Team LTK. License to kill. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Fields of Death LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player Eric alongside his teammate, the Peruvian Zerg player in Ryu, and together they are the CranKy Ducklings. And they were looking so good in the semifinals, but clearly Binsky and Sagan have done this before. Clearly they have 2v2'd before, and their strategies overall have just been that much better compared to the other Terran and Protoss teams that we've seen. Oof. Not unstoppable though. Like, they weren't dominant, I would say. Like, again, they did show signs of weakness in the early to mid game. Where Ryu and Eric were shining that little bit more. But let's like roll things back and remember that like Eric was being bullied the entire time. He lost 37 drones to Hellion run-bys, if you recall. Like, Eric, I felt so bad for him. Like, he was just getting constantly abused throughout that entire game by Binsky. I don't think he ever got 200 tons of supply. Like, he just had a really hard time. We'll see if this time he's left alone and he's actually able to macro up instead. Getting into game 3, again, potentially the final game. License to kill. They only need one more game to take the entire tournament. Oh boy. We'll see if they're able to pull things off, as so far pretty standard openers from both of our players. Hatch Gas Pool from both Ryu and Eric, getting their their hatcheries up and running. And so we'll see how they adapt. Again, we saw that Ryu did switch things up from game 1 and game 2. Here in game 3, is he going to switch things up again? Is he going to go back to the lurkers for the Nidus lurker? Is he going to go Spire instead? I wonder. Is Eric going to give up on the Spire? That's the thing, like, there's only so much you can do. It's either you go like Corruptor Broodlord Viper, or I don't know, maybe Eric should have been going for Infestors instead because they synergize a little bit better with his army and he can be a little bit more attentive with them. We'll see. As once again, Sagan is going for that double Stargate opener, as he has been doing every single game so far. Meanwhile, Eric rushing that lair makes sense so he can go into that Spire as quickly as possible as well. So both players are going to be taking to the skies. I doubt Binsky is going to be able to pop off with his Hellions the same way he did previously, but maybe he will. Maybe he will. As Hellions are on the way, and we all saw how much damage these Hellions dealt in game 2. Again, 37 drones. 37 drones. That's a lot of drones. Ay, ay, ay. We'll see. As we even have some pocket bases, so, you know, everyone's able to get their naturals up and running without any kind of issues. We do see that Ryu was the first to take a third base. Eric staying on 2 bases that little bit longer to make sure he's able to saturate his gases, and there is that Spire. I wonder if it would be worth going Mass Muta to begin with and focus on like harassing the Terran. Obviously you're going to force a Phoenix transition, but that's only after the mutas have been spotted, so maybe it's worth it. I have to wonder what Ryu and Eric have in store for us, because again, they're the ones that need to switch things up. As, oh my god, +1 melee? Ryu is not going for Hydras. Interesting. Very interesting. So he's gonna leave the anti-air completely up to Eric in this position. I mean, sure, he's gonna have queens, don't get me wrong. Queens are great. But yeah, we're going to be seeing a much more aggressive style, I feel, like Ling Bane. Maybe they've recognized the issue isn't the Protoss. Maybe they've recognized that the issue is actually the Terran. As the first Void Ray does get picked off here. Of course, we are seeing Mech, and yep, we're seeing Ling Bane Muta, or Ling Muta at least to begin with. Okay. Ryu completely switching things up. Meanwhile, at the same time, no, the Hellion drop, it's back. No, not like this. Split puppy split. Oh my god, this time it wasn't Eric, but it was Ryu that sustained all those losses. Looking at the units lost tab, 9 drones just went down. Ay, ay, ay. Double Roachworn? Okay. I was like, I thought I already saw a Roachworn on the way. There it is. Oof. Rough loss there by Ryu. Every single time Binsky gets in and he deals damage, and he's getting ready for another run by. There it is. Medevac comes back, and Medevac will be able to pick up those 4 Hellions. Meanwhile, the Mass Muta is going to rock up here at the fresh base of our Protoss. We have Void Rays to push them away, so the Mutas aren't going to deal too much damage, to be honest. And we have that switch into Phoenixes. Ooh. So, Eric and Ryu approaching this in a completely different manner. We'll see if it works. I mean, the Mutas are going to find a little bit more damage. 2 SCVs go down, take out a missile turret, force a lot of lost mining time. It is something, don't get me wrong. Is it going to be enough, though? As the Mutas are forced all the way back, the drop is returning once again. And we're going to be seeing some Phoenix range as well. Fleet Beacon thrown down for Sagan. And 2 more Stargates. Mass Phoenix, let's go. I'm curious if Eric is going to double down on the Mutas or if he's going to switch into Corruptors. Like, I wouldn't blame him for doubling down on Mutas, to be honest. We'll see, we'll see. I'm just going to look to try and find some more damage. Oh, gets into the main. Phoenixes are not here. Oh, and in the end, 10 more probes go down. At the same time, the drop is across the map. It hasn't really pulled the trigger yet. So Phoenixes are, yeah, they're just going to clean this up. Mutas, ¿por qué? They all go down in the end for Eric, as he is indeed switching into Corruptors. Meanwhile, Hellion drop this time does get cleaned up without too many losses. I think they got maybe 3 to 4 drones. So not bad. Much better dealt with this time. As it looks like, yeah, they're kind of taking their roles a little bit more seriously. A little bit more specialized, I should say. And I think I like this. So Ryu, instead of like going into Hydras, going Ling Roach. And because of that, his goal is to deal with the ground, and Eric is going Mass Corruptor to deal with the sky. So again, much more specialized. This will mean that I do believe that Ryu will have a better army against the mech of Binsky. The question becomes, though, can Eric deal with the Sky Toss? Because of the mass amount of Void Rays, it's possible that because of this switch, Sagan may be able to just carry. Oh god. Especially if we're losing Corruptors early on. Not like this, not like this. I feel like Ryu has to take on multiple roles here. Like, I feel like the Ravagers don't just have to take down the tanks, but they also have to help zone out the Void Rays. Otherwise, the Void Rays will just take over everything. Oh boy. As we do see Binsky poking out once again. We did see double Nidus on the way for Ryu. There we go. Nidus into the main. Oh, can Ryu pull this off as he pulls all the way back and goes into said Niduses? We can see the Void Ray army was a little bit out of position, but they are here. And yeah, the Nidus is not going to finish. That's what I mean. Like, I just don't think there's an answer to the Void Rays. Oh boy, but you know what? He's out of position, and now in comes the Roach Ravager. Tanks are going to get piled down one after the other. Two of them go down, but only two. Oof. And again, the Corruptors just continue to have a hard time against these Voids. Is this switch in composition going to work? I do think it can work. Don't get me wrong. I think it can work. I think it's just really hard. I think it's just really difficult. Oh god. 2, 3 Void Rays go down. Not a bad trade. At the same time, just still mass Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. We do have some Vipers, and I feel like that's going to change everything. I feel like, honestly, with Vipers, I think Ryu wins. Like, I think Ryu can take down Binsky. It's, again, still just about the Voids. Oh. Like, Eric, you gotta try and do this yourself, buddy. Can you pull this off? Actually, it looks like Ryu gave the Vipers to Eric. Oh, interesting. Is this the best move? I don't know. It's gonna make it that much harder to deal with the tanks, as it looks like these two tanks here are gonna get taken out just barely. No, they will not. Oh. Eric once again does not find a way in. Oh, the Vipers, no! It looks like one Viper's gonna go down. Oh, unless we transfuse. Oh, not in time. God, and this is dangerous. Both gold bases are being taken here. Ay, ay, ay. Carrier production has commenced. Queens are getting taken out. No, transfuse. And as the mech moves forward, Ryu avoids it, and he's going for that gold base. At the same time, Corruptors are going to draw away the attention of the Void Rays. Void Rays get drawn to the main. These gold bases are a little bit more exposed. A little bit, though. Oh, God, you have to be careful. You got to respect the High Templar. You cannot get feedback. Oh, the High Templar all go down. And now in comes Ryu. Oh, the Bailings. I was expecting some Blinding Clouds. Alas. They were not used, and Binsky takes out a hatchery. Base for base. Or just base, actually. The Nexus is strong. I do think this is working a little bit better for Eric and Ryu, though. A little bit. A little bit. Like, they're not allowing the tank count to get too high. The High Templar were taken out earlier as well. Nukes are on the way. Carriers are coming out there. Like, I still worry that Eric and Ryu won't be able to deal with the Sky Toss. We'll see. I'm a little bit scared. Meanwhile, a handful of these units do get taken out. Decent vials. And Sagan sneaking out another gold base. Oh, God. They don't have eyes on this. They don't see. They don't know. Oh, God. This is devastating. Like, they cannot let this base get up and running. Por favor. Oh god, more queens getting picked off left and right. We do have a nuke here over on the right hand side. Meanwhile, it looks like the battle mech has overstayed its welcome. Will get surrounded by the Ling Bane, even taking down these ghosts. Did have an EMP, but only connecting with one of the Vipers. Meanwhile, nuke does go off, but Eric did have eyes on it. He was able to evacuate in time, and the Broodlords are rocking up at the gold base. Oh my god, the Broodlords have finally revealed themselves, and the Nexus is going to go down. Where are those Void Rays? Again, Sagan was out of position. He was not where he needed to be. Meanwhile, we have another nuke here at the gold, and he doesn't see. Ah! But doesn't matter, as the gold base of Sagan has been revealed. Oof. Looks like he noticed just in time. He was able to evacuate. At the same time, Void Rays pushing forward. Oh no, the Void Rays, they take out the Broodlords. Ah! We do see a recall in the end as they take out the Nexus, take out the hatchery, my mistake. And both teams are kind of bleeding out here, but in the end, it does feel like this Ghost Army, this mech army is still standing strong. The carrier count was left untouched. Does feel like both Binsky and Sagan were trading a little bit better. Oh. Corruptors try to find a way in, but Storm zones them out. The Thor army is here towards the bottom right. Oh god, and I don't believe that Ryu has enough to defend against it. Not yet. Hatchery gets given up. We need more Broodlords. Eric, please. Like, Eric can't help here at all. That's the problem. Oh god, here we go. We do have a couple of blinding clouds. The EMPs were a little bit late, and this is the moment where maybe Ryu can deal with this army. The Bailey's gonna try and chase down the ghosts. But there's no detection. And it may be over. Binsky takes down Ryu, and Eric can't help out, so Binsky takes out 2 hatcheries. If there was detection, maybe the ghost count would have been reset, but alas, there was no detection. There were no overseers. I think they got sniped earlier. Oh god, we even have a Hellion run by here. The CranKy Ducklings, they fought hard to get to the grand finals. They fought oh so hard, but it's not gonna be enough. And I appreciate that they were adapting as well. Like they had been mixing up how to approach Sagan and Binsky. They were trying to look for the best way to do it. They just didn't find it. Oof. So we have double nuke. This nuke here is actually going to be able to take out this space. No, they don't see it. They don't see. Ah! Hatchery of Ryu goes down. Ay, ay, ay. And I do think it's over at this point. Eric's trying to do what he can here towards the bottom right, but they just can't get more bases up and running. There's nothing to stop the Void Race from just going into the main base. It's like either Binsky or Sagan alone right now can can probably win. Oh god. Ryu is going for one last ditch effort, one last push here. Can't find a way in. There's cannons, there's Void Rays, there's carriers. It's too much. It's far too much. God, look at how many ghosts there are. 23, there's 23 ghosts. Jesus Christ. Here we go. Gonna be the final fight of the game. Corruptors are gonna be able to take out a planetary. Cool, that's great and all. But here we go. Maxed out armies. Ryu's gonna try and hold his own, and you know what? He does pepper the army with corrosive biles. And he does actually connect. But look at all those ghosts. Oh my god, he can snipe every single unit. The storms blanket everything as well. Corruptors are coming in. Oh god, but they just can't do anything about the ghosts. The biles do connect, but the storms reign supreme anyway. GG gets called. Congratulations. Sagan and Binsky licensed to kill. Their 2v2 is just too damn good, and they are going to be the SuperExtra Latino America 2v2 champions. GG, well played. Again, their 2v2 skills were just a little bit too good. Their compositions overall were absolutely insane. GG. When it comes to the CranKy Ducklings, I want to give a shout out to Eric. Fun fact, Eric wasn't even supposed to be here today. Ryu was originally signed up with Chaos Fate. It would have been a Zerg and Terran team, which may have fared better, to be honest. But originally this tournament was planned to go live yesterday. It was postponed to be today instead, and Chaos Fate was no longer available, so he wasn't going to be able to be here with Ryu. So someone had to sub in. Eric subbed in at the last minute. So Eric was able to jump in, and he was able to help out Ryu, and together they made it to the finals. So they were able to have some success here. They were able to make some money. Again, kind of a last minute thing. Eric was even a little bit afraid. He was like, oh god, like I don't know if I like Zerg just isn't that great in 2v2, and they ended up with a Zerg at like a double Zerg team at that. But they made it work for as long as they could, and I'm very impressed with how they played. GG. Especially game 2. Game 1 and game 2 was so good. Like, there's a world where, honestly, they could have won game 2. Like, they were looking so good in that game, taking down bases, throwing down Niduses all over the place. But at the same time, Binsky and Sagan were very solid. You can tell that, you know, this isn't their first time they're playing 2v2. I'm pretty sure LTK, they played in, like, other team game tournaments before. I know SuperExtra has funded American team game, like, NA-focused team game tournaments as well. And yeah, Binsky and Sagan, they definitely know what's up. They know how to approach 2v2. Oh god, GG, well played. Meanwhile, Eric and Ryu, if they want to do this again, they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board with how to really approach this, and how best to deal with Protoss and Terran. Again, I know it's not easy, but I'm sure they could find a way if there was a future rematch. As I quickly switch scenes here to check out the bracket so we can all see the road of all of these teams. There were a lot of teams. Shout out to Vindicta. He gave us a raid earlier, and Vindicta was a part of this tournament as well. Just a bit of a shame that Vindicta ran into Eric and Ryu, so he couldn't be a part of the finals or the semis. We weren't able to cast his games, but Vindicta was here with Smile as an all-Terran team. In general, I don't think mirror teams are that good, whether it's Terran, Zerg, or Protoss. So Vindicta and Smile did struggle a little bit there. They did end up getting 2-0'd, so didn't quite make it all the way. But shout out to the 3rd and 4th place teams as well. Parker, Mike, and Tavo, they performed well. Yanji and Master also popped off in the 2v2s. It was really cool to see everyone come together and work together. And even though I don't think it was intentional, I really do that all these 2v2 teams, at least in the semis, they were built out of their respective real teams, which I think is really cool. You know, those Team License to Kill, Team Amantes, Team Super, and Team CranKy Ducklings. Yeah, it's something you don't see too often. And maybe we should bring back one day. What I mean by that, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, Pro League, 2v2 was a part of Pro League. I know 2v2 is going to be a part of Nation Wars, so I guess they're bringing it back there. 2v2 used to be a part of Total Biscuit's StarCraft Clan Wars. I don't know if you remember, but it was like kind of like a Pro League format with like a 2v2 match in the middle. So it used to be a lot more prominent. With the death of those team leagues, obviously we see less of 2v2, and 2v2 isn't balanced. We know that. It's the game isn't designed to be balanced around 2v2, but it's fun anyway. Like it's just different, and it's something unique that you don't see too often, and you get to see like these players work together that you don't see them work together either, because it's a 1v1 esport. Yeah, it's cool. I'd stop it at 2v2 though. I don't know if I want to see like competitive 3v3 and 4v4, because that's just nonsense, and I feel like PCs in general struggle to keep up with that. But 2v2, it's always great. It's always good fun. And GG, well played. Again, congratulations to the License to Kill boys. I know a lot of the LTK team members or teammates were there in the chat as well, cheering for their boys. Yeah, GG. Congratulations. I see Yaku in the chat. Rip Ryurik. Oh god. Aye. I see Tabu in the chat. Sagan! And no sabía que podías jugar 2v2. He's saying, I didn't know you could play 2v2. Next time, join my team. Tabu trying to snag Sagan there. Aye. Yeah. GG, well played. And with that is the end of the broadcast. Again, a shorter broadcast today. I do apologize. I slept in and I missed out on the first 2 rounds. But at least despite that, we were live for 3 hours. So this This would have been a 5-hour tournament. Oh my god. Part of me is glad that I stepped in. Part of me. I still would have loved to have casted Vindicta. Oh god. But yeah, GG, well played, well played. And you know what? I'm just gonna message Ryu. Just letting them know, oh god. But yeah, with that is the end of today's broadcast. If you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings, we're going to be live in 2 days with Sparkling Tuna Cup. As I quickly set that up on the stream here. Where is it? It is going to be Wednesday the 20th of April. My god, we're already in April. Like the month, the year is going by so quickly. Next month is DreamHack. I actually accidentally clicked that button. But yeah, next month is DreamHack. So DreamHack is going to be live here on this channel. We're going to be casting all of the qualifiers, and we're also going to be most likely a part of the B stream. We've been a part of the official B stream for DreamHack for the past 2 years, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So yeah, I mean, we're basically getting ready for that marathon month of casting where we're live every single day, multiple times a day. So if you want to be there for some ESL Pro Tour, for some DreamHack, for StarCraft in general, then consider hitting that follow button. Consider following us here on the CranKy Ducklings. We got you covered. And yes, our next broadcast is going to be in a couple of days. It's going to be Sparkling Tuna Cup. That is our weekly open tournament for all regions, for all players. Usually we have Koreans and Southeast Asians, sometimes some North Americans and Latin Americans like Trigger likes to sign up, sometimes Davo as well, but usually Koreans like Nightmare, Keen, Byeon, Mio Micah, and all the like mid-tier Koreans as well, like Gyelzing and Hon Mono and all those players. So if you're interested in that, then be sure to be there. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of the supports, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. If there's ever going to be another edition of the Latin American 2v2 tournament, it will be here on this channel as well, as we do, again, try to provide as much casting as we can for these SuperExtra tournaments, whether they're Latin American focused or Korean focused or even North American as well. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you guys in a couple of days. Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Bye.